cool, buddy.
Evening, everybody. Good evening. Welcome in. Welcome into Arcfall. The Arcfall preview show is on your screen, on your radio, on your podcast platform in the next 4 minutes and 35 seconds. Get your subs in. The pre-roll begins here in 30 seconds. Did I do the pre-roll? Yes, I did the pre-roll. They're actually still in break right now. They got 30 seconds left, but, you know, timing and all that. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Welcome in. Appreciate you guys all being here. Welcome into Talking Trek Live. Star Trek Fleet Command's official podcast here with your ArcBall preview presentation. All the data, all the leaks. Literally, I'm giving you like 92.8% of the ARC tonight. That's it. We might even round up to like 93%. I'm just saying, yeah. That's all coming tonight. Good evening. Welcome in. Appreciate you guys all being here. Let's get it started like we normally do on one of these very special ARC preview shows with a Talking Trek. Server sound off. You guys go ahead and kick it off. We're going to start with Raj on server 9. Thank you. What's going on? Noon Whistle on 29. Thank you. King Shadow on 74. Timothy on 93. Dr. Juby hanging out on server 61. Jace on 44. Tycon on server 33. Everywhere It Matters on 56. Martok on 8. Scaly back from the Outback on 188. What's going on? Appreciate you guys being here. Stradalorian on 9. Cruzito on 13. Burton on 701. What's going on? Bender the Robot. How you doing? Server 56 is the web. Voltron on 49. Enterprise 1701 on server 30. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Insidious 1 on 405. Thank you. J-Babes, what's going on server 13? Johnny 5 on 44. Hello. Indominus Prime on 53. Mord on 187. Check on 84. Alpha Cypher on 21. Ham Sam on 187. Broken Wolf on server 99. Savage Darkness says, what's the difference between being young and being old? Is it a joke? Is it a joke? I don't know. Candy White on server 24. Matt Hatter on 95. Thank you. Oh, I guess depends, he says. It depends. Nicely done. Game Junior on server 30. What's going on? Gray Sabers on 29. Voltron on 49. Admiral Burnham on 13. Sugar Relentless on server 74. What's going on? Scott on YouTube. Howdy, hey, hey. What's going on over there on the YouTubes? How are you? Quake, King Gaza, Mark, Scott, Brandon, Keith, Robert. What's going on? Striker on server 49. Thank you. Frustrated Borg on 188. Good evening. Welcome in. Appreciate you guys all being here. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Appreciate you guys all being here. Welcome into Talking Trek Live, Star Trek Fleet Command's official podcast. I'm your host, UltimatDJz, and we've got a lot of stuff to do tonight. Griffin sends his best. He is on location. I think matters now that we have decided that we don't have to do ARC preview videos anymore. He just decided he was gonna up and take off, and he sent me a message from. This was a beautiful place. He says he said it was absolutely terrible. And he sends me this message, this beautiful photo from Longboat Key. Anybody know where Longboat Key is? I've never heard of it before, but it looks exquisite. That's where he is. So he sends his love, and he'll be back with us hopefully by Thursday. Coming up on Thursday as we promote everything that's going on. And I'm going to tell you right now, guys, I'm going to be very, very quick tonight. I'm going to be very, very punchy. We're going to get through the video. I'm going to dump a bunch of data on you. I want to be out of here in 2 hours. And I'll just tell you right up front, yeah, you say quick, all right. It's going to be quicker than typical, all right, guys. I've had a really rough day, and I can tell you about it if you'd like, but that just takes time away, and we've got to bang some stuff out. Let me say thank you very quickly to a couple of people who are supporting the show. Appreciate it. Daystros, thank you for the sub. Barkman, thank you for the bits. Dragos, dude, Dragos, thank you so much for being a brand new subscriber to the channel, and B, using your primer because you only have one of those. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. You the man. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Dragos. Zerg, thank you for the 35 months. Broken Wolf dropping a gifted sub. Savage Darkness dropping some bits. Barkman with the bits. Thank you, guys. Webb says, I'm looking great. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I wish that I was feeling the part today. I'll just tell you, it's been a very emotional day. And and I don't even know if this is the appropriate forum for it. You know what? I'm just going to hold it for later. Maybe we'll talk about it later when we're not on podcast. We've got a lot of business to get to today. And we've got Beck's video to watch. I'm going to fill in a bunch of data from the video. We're going to fill in the gaps on that video, okay? Some of the stuff that you guys think you're seeing, then I'm going to maybe provide a little extra, provide a little clarity. I've seen a couple of questions already from Rob over in the YouTube chat, hearing lots of rumors. I'd love to know where those rumors are coming from, but I'm going to dispel them for you tonight. We will answer the questions that we are able to answer tonight, and through the good fortune of our pre-ARC meetings and our development meetings, we have a lot of information to share with you. And a lot of information that we've been cleared to share with you regarding the new ARC, Wrath of Khan Part 2, and the Reliant, okay? And let's be clear, Beck and I were actually talking about this earlier today. What is coming this month? It is indeed the Reliant, and largely the Reliant. Everything surrounds the Reliant. When we're talking about how we're going to break this up into sections, when we're talking about how we're going to break it up, and separate different topics of conversation, it kind of can't be done, Tarpy, because everything involves the Reliant. Literally, tonight, I'm going to be giving you everything that you need to know about the Reliant, and that is, in fact, 92.8% of the ARC. The only thing I won't be giving you are the actual officers and a few other tiny little things that will be dribbled in this month, but I'm pretty sure even some of that has been leaked in the video, so we're going to watch the video. And we're going to break everything. Juby says we have the officers, but do you know what they do? Maybe you do. I don't know. We'll talk about those. We know one officer. I do know that there was one officer in the video. I was watching Tibbs yesterday morning, and he said, I believe that you guys saw. Well, I don't remember. I'm going to watch the video. Scotty, okay, you guys said it, not me. I didn't want to name the wrong one. That would have been bad. So Scotty was in there. So anyway, here's the thing. Stryker says, so if we don't buy the ship, are we going to have anything to do this month? That's a great question, all right? And the answer is absolutely, okay? The answer is you're going to be doing the same thing you did last month. Okay? You're going to be doing the exact same thing that you did last month. This month is all about supporting the previous month. And I'm going to talk to you about how that is going to happen, what it's going to look like, and what the value or what the math is going to be on this ship, because I've had a chance to play with it. All right? And I will reserve my summary statement for the very, very end of the show. Do I think it provides a great value? Absolutely. But, Tarpy, matters, is this ship going to be a ship that stands up and performs and does all the wonderful things, or is it going to be a refinery ship? Well,
Doesn't matter.
What?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter? Okay, that's fine. Why doesn't it matter?
If the refinery's worth it, I don't care if it has utility elsewhere.
Yeah, that's fair.
It'd be great if it's helpful elsewhere, but if what you get from it is worth it, then it's worth it. And
absolutely. Don't disagree with that. We've had plenty of refinery ships that have come out in the past, and people still invest because the refineries are worth it. I can tell you right now, this refinery is beautiful. All right, the refinery is gorgeous. It might be one of the best we've ever seen. Okay, just throwing that out there. However,
what we already have is great in the augment store. So the fact that it's adding even more is insane.
Oh, and it's adding more. It's adding a lot more. Okay, it's adding a lot more, and I am going to tell you all about that tonight. All right, what we will reserve till the end is some of the utility and what it does. And now I will tell you this, Carissa. You say it comes down to time to tier. If it's another 2-year ship like the Vindicator, it's going to suck. I can tell you this, that is not the case. The time to tier is beautiful. All right? It actually is really beautiful. As a matter of fact, I will go ahead and give you one little leaky nugget here before we start Beck's video, okay? Tell you what, matters, I'll let you pick. You give me an ops tier, and I'll tell you time to max for that ops. How's that? Yes, my shirt is properly tonight. My shirt is on proper, not inside out and all that stuff. Is it as quick to tier as the Rev? I don't know.
61.
61, up 61. That's a bad example.
Oh,
that's a bad example. Okay, that's not a good example.
You want to try 66?
I thought you were going to be.
51,
I thought you were going to be unselfish. I thought you were going to be here for the community and be like, "Hey, what's it take for me to be, good in G4?" And I was going to be like,
I thought I was being unselfish. These days, you can't even get the ship till G4, and the ops goes all the way up to 70. So I figured the very first level of G6.
Well, this one, that's right. Tarpy's right. This one unlocks at ops 26. All right. This one unlocks at ops 26.
Well, there you go. Then I changed my answer to 48.
48. Okay. I can live with 48. Are you a G3, a G4, a G5, or a G6 player? And therein lies the rub. Okay? This ship is double bundled. All right? Meaning that every payout from every refinery, every bundle as related to this ship is not only broken down by tier of the ship, but also your generational ops level, which makes it complicated and, for the most part, beautiful. Okay? It does. So, because that means that you're going to see scaled payouts. G6 is going to see payouts appropriate for G6, even if the ship is in its early tiers. All right? On the other hand, a player who is Ops 40 and has this thing to Tier 4, they're still going to be receiving generationally appropriate rewards for there. So, again, Scopely very obviously and very publicly coming in and saying there are better rewards in pushing your ops. Okay. So Prime Rex says, is it for real this time? Because last time one pack was supposed to make it useful for 60. Nobody ever said one pack was useful for 60, Prime. That's not what I said. As a matter of fact, what the claim was that one pack was going to make it useful for G5, and then 6 packs were going to make it useful for G6, but it didn't end up playing out that way. It ended up being, I believe, 2 packs for G5 and 7 or 8 for G6. Chaos says, so will they do the same? The answer is not the same this month.
So helpful.
We're starting off on the right foot here, are we, tonight? You guys are asking the wrong questions. So are they doing that?
What questions should we be asking?
No, I don't know. I appreciate the questions that you guys are asking. But no, they are not doing the quote-unquote accelerator packs in the same form this month, mainly because a part of what had happened with the Junker ended up being communication and math, and then the packs scaled by ops, which wasn't accounted for. So, yeah, they're not doing that same thing again. All right. Game Junior says they did something good. Now they're not repeating it. So par for the course. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say that they're taking time to reevaluate how they did it because it didn't end up being the proper way that they wanted to do it. They didn't do it right the last time. So we're going to discuss more and we're going to see more, but probably a little bit more of a traditional thing. Now, one of the things that I did get a chance.
Tell us ahead of time.
Huh? What?
They need to do good things like that, but they just need to not tell us ahead of time. That way, if it's a little off, nobody knows. And
well, but I mean, that kind of defeats the purpose. I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, I ask those questions. I ask those questions every single month because those questions matter, So then when I try to bring those answers to the community and give you guys reason to be excited about something, then we count on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, if there's a reason to be happy about something, then that is what we want to promote. All right.
Yeah, that's true. And if it's to drive spending, then they want to tell us.
Yeah. So
it makes sense.
Here's the thing, Zarg. You missed the answer. How long to be good for 60 plus? Well, the question depends, that answer depends on a couple of different things. One, are you going to be buying packs? Because let's face it, Zarg, if you're going to buy it on day one, then you're spending money on the ship, right? So if you buy it on day one, as the blog post has pointed out, and I love the fact that they have officially named it now. Did you guys notice that? Beck has named this the instant command, or the path of patience is what they're calling it. So I love the fact that they've actually named that now. But it does depend, all right, if you're going to be buying it up front, if you're going to be grinding this thing out. Because if you're buying packs, that's going to change this. What I will say is that this ship, and I am pleased about this. Teresa says, "Why is everything for Op 60?" Actually, this month I would argue that it's not. Okay. Let me ask a question to the big grinders, and then we're going to come in and start watching the video. Tarpy, specifically, I've got a question to you. You had identified last month that, for the most part, if players were able to hit the 60-plus hostiles in order to obtain their epic wrath credits or the epic loot so that they could do that epic pull, then the 60 million rep was a lot easier for them to get to. As a matter of fact, grinding out Khan was a lot easier to do. Your argument last month was that for 60-plus, this grind was beautiful, it was elegant, it was the perfect game design, but there was a clear chasm in that G5, or at least mid G5 and down, did not have the same luxury of the grind. Does the audience still, for the most part, feel that way, Tarpy? Yeah?
I mean, somebody flat out said I was wrong yesterday about that, so
well,
I'm curious what other people say.
Some G5s were successful. Okay, some G5s were successful, but you still had to, I mean, it was a harder grind. Okay, so I'm going to come back, Teresa, and say, to answer your question, is this a 60-plus month? No, actually, I don't think that it is. All right, because 60-plus can already do it. Now, let me.
Carissa had a good point.
Please,
where
go ahead.
It took way more grind the lower ops you were.
Yes.
So because you had to hit more ships to equal the same amount of rep that I could get hitting 64s, that is why it was harder on G4 and G5.
I agree 1,000%.
Didn't have the range.
And why I'm going to say, Teresa, this month, the lower ops you are, the more utility the Reliant has for you. Okay? As a G6 player, I can do everything already in this loop. Right? As a G6 player, I can already do everything. Some of you have already done it. Some of you have already hit 120 million rep. Some of you have unlocked Khan. Some of you have maxed Joaquin. Right? Some of you guys are blazing through the ATA store. All right? Some of you guys are doing that, right? Yeah.
DJ.
Yes.
I would also like to say that the lower the ops you are, the quicker the ship will be relevant to you. Like, the lower the ops, tier 1 may be perfect for you. If the higher the ops are, the more that you're going to have to tier up the ship to be relevant for the hostiles you want to hit.
Sure. I don't necessarily disagree with that. Okay. Now, Teresa says every month there's new ships. It's hard to keep up, and I get that. All right. There's new loops and all this stuff, and it's tough. I am going to argue that the lower ops you are, kind of like what Putz said, the earlier that this ship is going to become relevant for you, and the more that it offers you faster. In other words, Cruzito says, wait, are you saying that this is not for Op 70? Well, let me ask you, can you hit the biggest exile hostiles that there are already? Are you at 60 million rep? Are you at 120 million rep? What do you need? All right. Now, I'm not saying that this loop isn't going to offer you something. All right. As a matter of fact, we are going to see an increase in sourcing for our very beloved planetary charts. Okay? Need that. Okay? We need that. We're going to see an increase in sourcing in the new Priority 1 Sigma ATA speed-ups. We need that. We do need that. We're going to see significant buckets of Sigma Tritanium handed out. We're going to see that. Okay? And we're going to continue to see more and more officer shard availability, as well as, I think, 6 or 7 more synergy groups in the officer efficiency model. Okay? So, Cruzito, I'm going to answer your question with a question of my own. Does any of that sound interesting to you? All right? Because if it is, then this ship will have some utility for you. I do believe that there is one small side effect of having what we saw last month. All right. And by the way, I don't argue against it. I still think it was a beautiful, beautiful arc. I think it was a beautiful design, a wonderful decision to make things grindable. I've had more conversations with Mr. Tiger in the meantime, to which I am very, very pleased. You know, I told you guys he was listening to the grading show, Tarpy. I told you guys he was listening. We had a very long conversation after that. He says, do you really think that I need to worry less about the morality of offering players unlimited grind? And I said, absolutely you do. Absolutely. Let the players do what they want to do, which is play your game. And not all of them are going to do it. As a matter of fact, I have officially requested, sorry, I'll turn the stickers off. Stickers are not working. I have officially requested, Tarpy, which I don't know if I'm going to get it or not. I have officially requested statistics on the percentage of players who have officially hit 60 million rep. I don't know if they're going to give it to me. I don't know if Chronox is going to give it to me. I don't know if Chronox is tracking you, but I want to know that. Mainly because I want to pat you guys on the back. And I also want to demonstrate that it's not necessarily an evil thing to allow players unlimited grind. All right? Because even though it was available, how many people actually did it? I hit yesterday, which is technically, I guess that was technically within 30 days. So I hit yesterday. All right? I didn't do it within the arc. I certainly didn't do it within the first week. So players, even though they offer that grind, will still be able to observe their own playstyle, observe their own limitations and their own game design time, and put in the playstyle that they want to put in. Mainly then resulting in the fact that they still have that freedom. They still have the ability to play at their pace and be rewarded at a time that they have successfully completed that check mark, right? I think that's beautiful. Now, as Bubba and I were talking about on the last show, that is not necessarily something that we are repeating this month, at least not with regards to the Reliant. There is a timetable. There is a chart scaling on how long it's going to take you to upload and upgrade. And let me tell you, if I was... again, this thing being double barriered, right? Like between ops and tier of the ship. Let me just tell you, if you're a G3 player, all right, tier 3 is your ops lock. All right, very nice, very early. Okay. And by the way, as Matters pointed out, as a G3 player, this ship is going to be decently important to you right out of the box. As an Ops 26 player, you can totally use this ship out of the box, tier 1, tier 2. Okay? But to Ops cap it, if you are a G3 player, to Ops cap it at tier 3 is going to take you 80 days. Sounds like a lot. But again, remember, the ship is useful straight out of the box. Now, for you, Matters, you've got to get to a higher tier, right? You've got to get to a higher tier. You need to get it much higher, much faster. So for you to get it to that same tier 3, you're at 20 days. Natively. All right? Natively. If you're a G5 player, you're looking at 40 days. Okay? So it scales not only by the tier of the ship, but also your grade of launch and how far it is that you're going to need to end up taking it. I'll tell you this, a G6 player, to max this thing out for the G4 range, is less than 100 days. natively. But again, that doesn't sound that exciting. And by the way, I will tell you, I tested these numbers. They're accurate. If I max one out for G4, it is absolutely no use for me utility-wise. None. Can't even kill one hostile. All right. So that 100 days looks daunting to me as a G6 player. But I'm getting a lot of refinery benefit throughout. That's why I say, circling back to, no, don't necessarily Caledon. I'm going to tell you why, and in talking with Mr. Tiger, and he's going to explain this to you as well. All right? He's going to explain this to you as well on Thursday because he's going to be on the show. This ship, they're taking a little bit of a new approach with this, and I'm not necessarily opposed to it. All right? Obviously, what we've seen early is that the earlier the ops, the more utility it's going to have earlier, right? We agree. But there are 4 abilities with this ship. 4. And I believe now that 4 different hostiles worth of grinding makes a little bit of sense to me. All right? Not necessarily that it was still the best thing for us to go and have to hit 4 different hostiles. But what are we doing now? Let me ask a G6 player. Matters. Let me ask you. What are you doing now? Right now, to get all your loot. What are you doing?
Oh man, you're asking a bad question now. Not as much as I should be.
Okay, Tarpy, I'll ask you. You're grinding this thing out? No? Okay. Then I'll tell you what I'm doing.
Yes, I am. Yeah, no. What I do is I hit from the 70s down. I will go and see if there's surveys, and if there are no surveys, I go back to the 64s and I grind in the 64s. And I use a G4 rare to grind in the 40 or 42s.
Okay. Not the answer I was looking for, but that works. Mimi's got it. Jonathan Ingram's got it. This is what I was doing, right? I was grinding 40s for the commons, and I was grinding 62s on pretty much everything else, right? That's how I was doing it. I was grinding 64s. I'm actually dropping to 62s now. Because rep is a little bit less important to me now. By the way, the 62s and the 64s drop the same number of those insignia things or whatever, the champions tokens. 62 and 64 drop 50 per hostile, so there's no real loss in dropping down to the 62s now that I've got 60 million rep. But huh?
Now that you have tons of epic splicers.
I do. I have plenty of epics. So I'm dropping down to the 62 to help with my uncommon and rare a little bit more. But Jonathan Ingram hit it right. I'm also kind of loading up the junker and going over to the 40 system. Now.
Okay, that's what I'm doing.
I have a question.
Yes.
What do you hit when there's an SMS that pays out or that scores on the level of hostile that you're hitting? Are you hitting
I got
70?
No, I'll punch up. I'll punch up at that point just to clear the event.
Okay. So yeah, like I hit 60s to do my events, but I will grind in the 56 system and the 40 system to get everything else because I really can't do epics. I get an epic single pull, once every 5 days just from the amount of loot goblins I'm hitting. So yeah.
Let's look at the design of this ship, okay? And this is something that is talked about in the blog post, all right? And I'm going to and we are going to watch Beck's video in a minute, but I like having some of this conversation ahead of time. All right, that way I can give you a few more leaks and we can talk about things as they come up. This right here, the Reliant payoff ability. Up to 3,500% more hijack splicers from every augment exile kill. Now, that, by the way, is at max. That's the ship ability at max. It's not going to be that high for people, at tier 1 or level. It's based on level. That's the ship ability, okay? So it's not going to be 3,500%, right off the bat. But it is going to be a loot bonus. Now, one thing that you guys helped me learn about, which I did not realize because I haven't killed any, is that the D7, the Revenge Hunters, they have double loot. They got double loot. So let me ask you a question. If I already am taking away the grind element, all right, by being here's the thing, Chris, you're exactly right. He says it doesn't help if you can't hit your level of hostile for half a year. What was my key word right there, Matters? What if I don't have to hit my level of hostile? The thing is, if I'm already sending out a junker, if I'm already sending out a second ship just to grind away at the 40s, all right, this ship for me is going to be a punch down auto grinder. All right. It is immune to the dilithium destabilization, meaning that your warp core never explodes. By the way, that also works on the loot goblins. It's not just the hunters. Shh. Leaks. Okay? Leaks. Matters is so torn up over there, he just dropped signal. Okay? It works not only on your revenge hostiles, but on the loot goblins also. Okay? So you are going to be able to survive double loot revenge hostiles. Beck said it on the video. Okay, great. Bam! Well, it was a question I got. I'm answering. We should watch the video first. Not a leak? All right, I'll keep trying. All right. I am explaining, though, Risk Breaker, so at least I'm teaching. So if I don't have to actively grind, and this ship is not going to do well for me at my higher tiers, then this very well is going to be a ship that I can lay out in the 40 or the 42 or the 44 system, let it auto grind. It is going to be punching down, but because of the double loot and because of the loot bonus of the ship, I can punch way, way down and still get a lot of loot. All right. And that, I think, when Jules and I are looking at this design early, he identified absolutely that this ship can have a utility for G6 players. But you know what it's not going to be? That utility is not going to be hitting your level of hostile. It's not. This thing, I took it all the way to tier 10 during my playtest, and it could not kill a level 62. Okay? Couldn't do it. So that's disappointing, right? Except it will allow me to eliminate my common and uncommon grind. Now, Nakar says, I'm not selling the ship with this. I'm giving you, I'm not telling you to ignore the ship. First of all, I'm giving you facts, all right? But I do think that there is a utility for this, and it's time. It's time. Okay? Mord, it's an 18-tier ship. It's an 18-tier ship that starts at Ops 26. Okay? No, Tier 10's not going to hit G6. That would be a little rough. Okay? Now, that's why I say this thing has a different design approach. And I'm not necessarily super opposed to it. I'm not going to lie. I was disappointed when I took the ship to Tier 10 and it couldn't kill one of mine. Okay? I agree with that. The benefit that we found during this playtest is in the loot bonus. Aside from the refinery, we're talking utility-wise. The utility-wise, no, oh my God, you guys are killing me. Why? Do you guys even care what I say if you're just going to trash on it all in chat? Okay? Listen to what it can be used for, and then you can decide for yourself. I don't care if you think it's trash. For the 38 of you that are doing that, I've had a long day. I'm not in the mood for it today. Okay, retrieving. You can just chill. Yes, I get it. I can already kill 62s with my normal ships. Cool. Yes, I acknowledge that. All right, but I also am having to send out multiple ships and hit multiple levels of hostile. if the utility is not in replacing your current ship, but if the utility is in saving you time, now you've got something that you can look at. All right? Now you've got something you can look at. Cruzito says, I'm squishy. Yeah, I'm squishy, but I can still kill 64s. So what does that even mean? See what I'm saying? The utility here is not going to be, let me say this for the fourth and final time. The utility is not going to be in killing your level of hostile. The utility, if you choose to find value in it, is going to be in your time. So for those of you who ground out 60 million rep last month, well, maybe you've got the time to continue doing that level of grind. I didn't like it. I mean, I did, but I will like to say take less time. I'm already falling behind. All right. Retrieving says we don't need help killing lower level hostiles. Didn't suggest that you did. What I'm suggesting is that you can kill less of them. Significantly less. As I just said, for the fifth time, less time. The web says my time is precious. I'll be buying the ship. Help me save time. Absolutely. That's it. It's time. Okay? It's going to be time because you've got a loot bonus. You're also killing a hostile that has twice as much loot. And even if you're punching down, you're still going to get more of those commons and uncommons than you will if you were actually manually grinding them out. Now, we haven't talked about the refinery, which we're going to give you more data on. But I wanted to spend the first part of this show explaining how this particular ship is different than the rest. Okay? And it's not going to be in what it can kill straight out of the box. Because I'm telling you right here and now, even I am disappointed in how it performed against the hostiles that I'm hitting. But I'm G6. I'm G6. Okay? So I have to take it the farthest for it to be useful. Canine Tooth, Jonathan Ingram, they're going to be looking at me like, God, man, I can already kill the 70s all day long. What do I need this ship for? Well, it's not going to be to help you kill the 70s. It's going to be to help you spend less time in this loop. Now, the reason that I take the extra special care to explain this to you, Tarpy, is because, gosh darn it, if Tiger isn't making me eat my words. It's a ship that allows you to pay to skip the grind. Son of a biscuit! He got me. All right? Just like we saw last month's unlimited grind model, here to tell you, by the way, even more stuff is going to be added to the store. Okay? Even more stuff is going to be added into the store. So you do have things that you can still earn. You've got stuff that you can still grind out. Do you want to do like you did last month, which, by the way, still exists? And that's what's beautiful about this, is that the core of the arc still exists. Okay? The core of the arc is still there, meaning the unlimited grinders model still exists. Do you have to have the ship? Hell no, you don't have to have the ship. Is it going to save you time? Yeah, it's probably going to save you a lot of time. Is it going to save you a ton of time when it comes to Wrath credits? Well, we already knew that was coming. All right. Is it increasing the chest amount? Which chest, Cruzito? Because there's a ton of them. Okay. Benny Hill says, DJ's question, is there still a concern of being popped OPC auto grinding? Hell yes, there is. Do you remember? Do you remember when Jonathan Ingram popped my ship on my way back to my base this past month? And I said, well, that's going to happen a lot more next month. There you go. Okay. For those of you who don't like grinding, there will absolutely be what was the original ship that did this? The Meridian, when it just mined and so much so fast and you could get popped and you could go around and you just hunted territory. You just hunted territory. And some people never had to mine it again. You just hunted territory and you got to feed your refinery. You guys remember? Well, that's going to happen. That is absolutely going to happen. Now, here's the thing, Countville. Oh, yeah, they're going to hunt the Reliant for sure. Now, it is going to save time. It has a wonderful PC, okay? It's got a wonderful protected cargo. Let me rephrase. I am 7.5 out of 10 happy with the protected cargo, okay? I'm 7.5 out of 10 happy on it. I wanted more, but it's certainly not a slouch, okay? It's good. It's several million. At my tier and my research, when I took it to tier 10 in my playtest, I think I was roughly 20 to 22 million protected. Okay, and I was using crew. So again, crew gonna matter here. Crew's gonna matter. If the ship is packing all this isolytic, do you need damage output? Not really. If the ship is packing all this extra damage, if you're not going to need help to kill the hostiles, then I want to protect what I'm taking. So I might be looking at like some protected. Yeah, Jeff. It's like 20 million protected. Isn't that crazy? Woo, that's a lot of protected. What's the max cargo? Even higher than that. Okay.
There's a screenshot of the max cargo in the video.
Good. What was it? Can you just tell me right off? Make sure I'm not wrong.
It depends on the ship tier, right? So I don't want to quote, but it was.
Oh yeah,
something like 20.
Huge cargo. Huge cargo. Meaning that even if you get popped, you're still going to go home with a lot of cargo. But I mean, if you leave it out all night, a hunter's going to pick up on some cargo too. I call that a win-win scenario. All right? Yeah, Jesus. It is actually kind of good. All right? It's good for the hunters, but it's also good for the people who have set the ship out because, well, you're still going to go home with something for your trouble. All right? And it's not even a tiny something. It's a lot of something. But other people are still going to get to take some stuff too. All right? Is there going to be a free-to-play path on day one? Yes, the blueprints will be sourceable. It's the 100-day model. Okay. Forgotten Sex sounds more like when it gets popped, not if. Well, that depends on your server, obviously. But yeah, I imagine that there will be a lot of people out there hunting over cargo. All right. I'm sure that people are going to do that. And it's okay if they did. Because, I mean, what if you did get to take home 15 million and they took home 5 million? That's still good. That's still good. All right. Or you could pop back in on it every couple of hours and take it home. I mean, how long is it going to take you to earn 15 million? Well, what does 15 million do for your refinery? I mean, that's pretty significant too. So that, I think, is going to be a fine thing. And again, I fully expect that this is going to be a ship that people are going to set in the lower level systems and eliminate one of their multiple grinds. Because right now, like Jonathan Ingram, I'm junkering the 40s. Well, now I won't have to. All right. So, again, we're going to get into the video next. But, Tarpy, that's what I wanted to spend the opening segment on. This ship has a different philosophy. All right. And we have I appreciate the fact that they are looking at different approaches. We've talked about this a million times about how a ship, I mean, this is not a new problem. We need the ship to be useful early for a late generational player. Right? I mean, is it fine? Is it acceptable even for a ship to cost $1,000 to make it useful? Or wait 3 years to make it useful? Not really.
I mean, do people want the same ship over and over and over and over? So, like, when we get specialty ships, do people just want to go grind more probes and refine those probes to get whatever and then put that on the ship? Like, that gets boring. So, like, I like that this ship is actually set up a little bit differently because it brings some variety into what you do every day.
Well, this is definitely more of the holistic game design, and I'm going to look forward to having you guys hear it from Tiger on Thursday, because the way he explained it to me, actually, I don't even think I'm doing it really justice right now. But his idea in the multiple rarities was to obviously provide you some variation in your day-to-day grind, not expecting that the 6% of you guys are going to do it all and double pull all of it. All right. But this ship then comes in, and instead of trying to tackle the problem of making it useful to G5 straight out of the box, instead of trying to tackle the problem of making it useful to G6 right out of the box, how about we make it useful for something different? If it is fundamentally impossible for us to make a ship possible of killing level 70 hostiles straight out of the box, which obviously it's going to be, then we have to provide a different value proposition. And that is where he's coming in this month. All right? Providing a type of value that is different, that is unfamiliar to what we are used to seeing. And why I wanted to take extra special care to describe it, because I'm telling you, if you unlock this ship and you spend even a couple $100 on it and it still can't hit your level of hostile, that feels bad, right? So what else is it going to give us? That becomes the question. What is it going to do for us? It's going to give us our time back. It's going to reduce the grind. By the way, if you're a big, super, huge grinder, well, maybe you don't care. And that is what I maintain about last month's beauty, is that you can still continue the grind just like you did last month, as if this new ship does not exist, because all it does is save you time. It paywalls nothing. So that's the trade-off, Danny. Time. That's the trade-off. You're paying for time. Ben Sai says, I don't grind. Okay, cool. Well, then maybe you want to look at a ship that allows you to get more with less grind. That's what this ship is. Okay. Danny says 200. Wait, why are you saying $200 for time? Who said 200? Are you guys thinking that the ship's going to cost 200? Okay. That's what you think. Has that ever happened before? Actually, didn't the sarcophagus cost more than normal? I'm feeling like it. I don't remember. I don't actually remember. I don't know the price, Teresa. I mean, I don't see why it wouldn't be the normal $100. I don't see why it wouldn't be the normal. Chaos says, I said 200 for G5 was fair. Yeah, well, I would not expect that this month. Okay? Would not expect that. Lost In says, I said a couple $100 to make it useful just now. No, I'm here to tell you, a couple $100 is not going to make it useful for you, Lost In. All right? I'm just throwing it out there. Okay? Okay, it's not. So, don't 2,000 for 70? Well, I don't know about that, Cruzito. I mean, I don't know. All right? But I mean, it's no, I'm going to take that back, Cruzito. It's not going to be 2,000 for 70. All right? If you wanted to hit level 70s, maybe, but that's not what it's for. That's not what it's for. All right, let's watch Beck's video because I've got other stuff that I want to get to tonight. And like I said, we've spent too much time on this now. I've got 90-minute hard out. All right, let's watch Beck's video, and I will give you more fill-in-the-blank leaks as we proceed through on. Let's go.
Greetings, Commanders! Our next update is right around the corner, and today is Preview Day. Today, we're taking a sneak peek look at the latest ship coming to Star Trek Fleet Command, the USS Reliant. Before we get started, make sure you leave a comment below letting us know what server you're hailing from. And if you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe to this channel to stay updated on all the latest features, events, and sneak peeks coming your way. We have a lot in store for you, so let's get right into it. The long-awaited USS Reliant has finally entered the final frontier, and it is ready to change the balance of power for players Operations 26 and above. Let's first take a look at the Reliant's 4 headline abilities: MARA Insulation, Reliant Payoff, Always Reliant, and Reliant Barrier. Always Reliant provides up to 75,000% additional isolytic damage against Wrath of Khan Augment Exile hostiles. Reliant Barrier is a bonus of 50,000 Apex Barrier against Wrath of Khan Augment Exile hostiles beginning at Tier 1. MARA Insulation shields the Warp Core from the Hijack D7 and DY200 class dilithium destabilization ship abilities, and Reliant Payoff provides up to 3,500% more Hijack Splicers from Wrath of Khan Augment Exile hostiles in Augment Exile space. To put it simply, the Reliant can take on Hijack D7 class and DY200 class ships without suffering Warp Core destabilization. Its massive isolytic damage and enlarged Apex Barrier let it tear through every base Hijack ship in Augment Exile space. The 3,500% Hijack Splicers bonus slashes the number of hostiles you must defeat to advance in the Augment faction, and since Hijack D7 hostiles already drop double Splicers, you can enjoy an effective 7,000% loot increase when you defeat them with the USS Reliant. The Reliant exclusive ship Mega Claim is a daily claim in the Augment faction store that grants common, uncommon, rare, and epic Wrath credits.
I'm going to pause here just for a second to demonstrate or to show off this particular chest. All right. Now, a couple of things that I want to point out. I see you guys being silly in chat that I let it play a whole 2 minutes without stopping it. First of all, Canine Tooth, I didn't mean to ignore your question, but I see Shiz has already answered it. Will it help with Champions trophies? Well, indirectly, the answer is yes. Okay? It does not provide you a loot bonus for that. However, it does allow you the ability to kill the Revenge Hostiles, which drop 5 times as many Champions trophies as the normal Hostiles. So if I am getting 50 Champions trophies off of a 62, all right, killing, and I don't remember what the chart is, but way, way low. Shiz, what is it? Killing a level 40 actually lets me drop 250. Okay, so again, I'm eliminating that lower level grind while, because of its loot bonus and what they drop, is still giving me extra stuff. Okay, so the fact that I am dropping down, letting it auto grind, and yes, you'll still be earning a bunch of those because the Revenge Hostiles drop 5 times. Okay, the Loot Officer's Dragon Keeper be worthless. Yeah, just said that, bro. Open your ears. What did I say? You could either focus on isolytic and crit damage build, all right, because of their isolytic output, or loot protection, cargo protection, more cargo protect. Okay, so you keep more of what you're taking home. The Champions trophies are going to come in the chest, but you're still going to want the Splicers, right? So throw cargo protection on the ship. Okay, thank you, Shiz. Where'd you put it? Shiz is sending. Yeah, let's throw this out. This is beautiful. Thank you, Shiz. I'm going to put it in the graphics room, and you guys take a quick peek here, okay? I'll turn off the camera so you guys can see. This particular chart, and the timestamp is 9:36 p.m. Eastern Time, and it's in the graphics room, all right? This particular chart is going to show you the number of champions.
What?
Yeah, look at this big old chart, all right? Look at the Hijack D7s over here on the right-hand side.
Oh, gosh.
Okay? On the right-hand side. These Hijack D7s are dropping 5 times the number of Champions trophies in the chest. Okay? So, Canine Tooth, so Cruzito, so Dragon Keeper, Lost In. Will this even provide benefit for you who are looking to obtain more champion trophies faster? Yes. Yes. Okay. Drop it down into one of the low-level systems, and you can earn as many champion trophies through an auto grind as you could manually hit out of the level 70 hostile. Let me rephrase. Let me say this again. If you hit the maximum hostel in the game, the most champion trophies you can earn are 50. Except you can hit the smallest auto grind system and still make 50. Kaviji says, so what could I auto grind at tier 10? Very good question. I like that question. I am here to tell you that at tier 10, I can auto grind up through, based on the math, I should be able at tier 10 to auto grind through the 50s. Okay? So 50, 52, which means I could set it as an auto grind and earn 100 per hunter. Okay? Mimi says, well, technically untrue. The D7 spawn rate is lower than what you can hit manually. Again, that is arguable, Mimi. If I'm sitting it out during my active grind, again, I am not probably actively grinding with this ship. Okay? That's not what its utility is. Let me say this again, and now I hope it's starting to get some meaning for you. The active utility of this ship is not going and killing the 70s. That's exactly right, Kaviji. This ship is your offline sleeper, continue to grind, passive accumulation. All right? And that's not necessarily just common and uncommon. At 50, you can get some rare off of that, but more importantly, the Champions Trophies. Okay? The Champions Trophies are going to be very, very big. Teresa says, question is, how do you get it free to play? Where do the blueprints come from? I'm sure that we're going to see this in a video, but I'll just go ahead and tell you, you're going to earn it with common splicers in the store. Very easy.
It's in the video.
Okay, good. Man, Beck is taking all my leaks. All right.
It's a screenshot.
Damn it. All right. Now, I did want to come back in and share and mention... Where was, oh, crap. I've got to get rid of this screenshot right here. And we'll come back here. So in this video right here where we're with Beck, this particular Reliant mega claim, I'm going to tell you right now exactly what tier this is because I can do that. This mega claim is, oh crap, those are Wrath credits. 12. See, again, it's very segmented. It's very segmented. Here we go. This is tier 4 for a G6 player. That's actually not bad, is it? This bundle that you see on your screen right here is tier 4 for a G6 player. And just as a quick reminder, with no pay whatsoever, tier 4 will be obtainable to you within approximately 30 days. All right, that's not bad for a daily claim. It's certainly going to help with the common and the uncommon. All right, it is segmented, kind of like the Monavines, based on tier and ops. Okay. Does it, Lord of Chaos says, does it just do G4, 5, and 6, or is it separated by actual ops? It is primarily separated by tier and generation. Okay, tier and generation. So G3, G4, G5, et cetera, et cetera. Now, there are some ops locks in there. Okay, like I had mentioned to you earlier that tier 4... Tier 4 is the ops lock for G3 players. Tier 9 will be the ops lock for G4 players. Tier 14 will be the ops lock for G5 players. Okay? So this screen right here, this is a tier 4 claim for a G6 player. Okay? Let's see. Teresa says, thanks. Yeah, go get you some common. Go get you some common. All right, now, any other questions on this particular graph real quick before, or this particular screenshot before we move on? Because I've got more stuff to fill in. Tony says, ops lock, bah. I just built my 60 shipyard.
We have ads right now, by the way.
Boo! Boo ads! All right. Thumbelina says, what G player? What? This screenshot on your screen right now, this is tier 4 of a G6 player. Okay? The cost is common splicers. Common splicers. So down here, it's 300,000 common for 1.5 common splicers for a double pull. Now, we talk about common splicers, right? We talked about the common splicers being the things that we didn't want to grind anymore. Well, if we have this bundle, Tarpy, the Reliant Mega Claim Bundle, what is it that we actually own?
The Reliant?
Yeah, that's right. And if I've got the Reliant, again, what is UltimatDJz telling you that the benefit out of the box is going to be? Is it going to be hitting your level?
No.
Nope. It's going to be parked down in these lower level systems, racking up on common and uncommon, and maybe rare when you eventually get to that point. All right. It's going to be racking up on these babies. The D7, 26 through 30 at the earliest levels. Then you're going to punch up maybe to the 34s, 38s, whatever. Guys, look at this. Look at this. Tarpy, if I could successfully kill a level 38 chaser, I'm earning 30,000 common splicers per shot before loot bonus. Before loot bonus. And the ship has its own loot bonus. Which means that theoretically, I could be earning literally over 100,000 common splicers per hostile, plus 50 champions trophies per hostile, passively overnight, and wake up and still probably come home with, I don't know, what is the Monavine auto grind, or what's the augment space auto grind? I know you guys have measured this out. About 1 a minute?
They're 1 a minute.
Okay, so 1 a minute. Let's see. 1 a minute means that throughout the course of the night, if you survive, you're going to wake up with literally thousands of champions trophies, and probably you're going to be dead. Which means you're probably going to go home with, I don't know, early tiers. What? Even if it's an early tier, Tarpy, even if it's early and you go home with 3 or 4 million cargo, does that not feed your refinery for the day?
Sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
4 million, I think, is the full pull for common. So
yeah.
And so there's a good question in chat.
Please,
by the way.
ask it.
For the screenshot that you just showed of the contents of that mega claim,
okay,
the account that you were using at the time for that was G6, right?
This is a G. Well, it wasn't mine. This is Beck's screenshot, but yes, this is a G6.
Beck's screenshot. So if you're G4 and you get the same mega claim, what would you see in it? Everything but the Sigma?
Okay, hang on.
Is it going to be?
I'll tell you.
Okay.
What did you want to know? G4?
Well, G4, G5, like, does it change?
It changes every generation. Yeah, every generation.
Okay.
So, for example, if you were a G3 player, you would see. Nope, that's not correct. Hang on. If you were a G3 player, you would see. Well, see, there are some ops locks in here. Okay, specify G3. You want to go ops 36? You want to go ops 40? What do you want to
do? Thumbelina, what's your ops? She was the one who asked the question.
Thumbelina, you name an ops and I'll give it to you. Because, again, this is, and super huge shouts to Doman and Mr. Tiger, because I have all of the data, which means Jules will have all of the data and will be able to publish this for you upon ARC launch. But to give you a general idea, so Killer J says 39, ops 39. Then you would have 500 common Wrath credits. So instead of 600, you'd have 500. You would have 100 uncommon. You would have 15 rare, 10 epic. You would still have the 50 Wrath Choice credits. You would still have 14,000 rep. You would only have 4,200 common parts, and you would have no uncommon parts. And you would have, oh God, that's a lot of zeros. I think this is 46. No, that's 467 million titanium. Is that right? Is that a lot of titanium for a G3 player? 467 million? That seems like a lot.
How many zeros are there? Did they put commas? How many
No,
zeros?
they didn't put commas in my chart. Let's see. We've got 5 zeros preceded by a 4675. That's 467 million, right?
5 zeros?
5 zeros. And then 4675 in front. That's 467 million. That seems like a lot of trite for an Ops 39.
5 zeros would be 10,000, and then,
No, Blaze says I'm wrong. He says it's only 46 million.
You're off by 10.
Oh, okay. 46 million. Okay, well, still 46 million.
That's better.
All right, that's a lot.
Daily, that's pretty good. You said Ops 39?
That's Ops 39.
So how about Ops 50?
Oh, my God. Okay, Ops 50.
People are complaining that you don't need trite. Okay, you just wait.
You just wait a second. I blew.
The end of G6.
I'm a G6 player, and I built a G5 ship for this past weekend spend event, and I burned about 40 trillion titanium. So just like, that was regular, not Sigma. That was regular titanium. Okay, Ops 50. Ops 50 is still considered G4. What tier? What tier do you want then? What tier of the ship?
Do 3. Tier 3.
Okay. Tier 3, 500 common, 100 uncommon, 10 rare, 6 epic, 40 Wrath Choice tokens, 12,000 rep, 4,200 common parts, and the same 46 million titanium. You got to remember, Tier 3 is still kind of G4 territory a little bit.
Right, and that's also about where you said they'd get in a month.
Yeah, so. Even at Tier 4, it jumps up. Even at Tier 4, then, it goes back to what you see here almost. 600 common, 150 uncommon, 15 rare, 10 epic, 50 choice, 14,000 rep, 4,200 common, and 8,200 uncommon. So you start getting the uncommon parts at Tier 4. And it jumps you up to 130 million trite. And that's the difference in Tier 3 and Tier 4 for a G4 player. So anyway, there you go. Big stuff. When do you start getting Sigma? When do you think you start getting Sigma, good sir? When do you think you would start getting Sigma? This is a trick question. I'm going to have fun with this one. When do you think you would start getting Sigma, Cruzito? Ops 61? That does make sense. What tier of the ship do you think would make sense for you to start getting Sigma?
Do I get to answer?
Sure. Take a guess.
I'd say T1.
Yeah.
Tier 1? Serious?
That was my guess.
As a G6 player, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, good news is you're right.
Hey.
All right. Yeah, starting at Ops 61, Tier 1. Ops 61, Tier 1. You start with 3,300 Sigma trite a day. 3,300.
How much?
3,300. That's not small.
Great. That's not terrible. Yeah. I'll take it.
At Tier 1.
Yeah. So there are, and obviously all of this data that we're asking about will be available tomorrow sometime.
Yes.
Ish.
And you know what? You're right, Battle. Battle, I am such a dummy because everything I've read you has been single claims. But you can actually do double claims on this if you've got enough common from the auto grinding of the Reliant that you're going to have. So double everything that I just gave you. Double it all. Dale Meyer says, what are the payouts at Op 70 at tier 18? You want me to read them all out to you? Okay.
No. The reason I said that.
I will. I'll do it.
Okay. The reason I said this because we get this all tomorrow, so we will.
Yeah, but I'm gonna give you some stuff. I'm gonna give you some stuff. All right.
Okay.
Tier 18, Op 70. Let me find it. Okay. 1,200 common, 600 uncommon, 250 rare, 150 epic, 200 Wrath Choice tokens, 200,000 reputation. I've lost track of where I'm at.
Okay, who's screenshotting his glasses right now so they can read the rest of the table?
14,000 uncommon, 19,000 or 14,000 common parts, 19,250 uncommon parts, 26,250 rare parts, 23,000 epic parts. There are way too many zeros for me to read how many tritanium you get, and 31,000 sigma on a single pull.
You can't find buttons and you can't find math.
I mean, there's so many zeros here. I can't even begin. Okay, hang on. There's 3, 6, 9, 248 followed by 9 zeros. What is that? Million, billion, 248.
You flounder.
248 billion. 248 billion. Thank you, Jules. Why are you not up here doing this and I am? 248 billion regular tritanium and 31,000 sigma, and that's on a single pull.
Because it's funny to listen to you flail.
Okay. Anyway, we're going to continue on with this. Now, again, this all demonstrates, all right? And I'm not going to get in trouble for this, but all this demonstrates is exactly what I was teaching you about at the very beginning. The utility in this ship is a different approach than normal. The utility in this ship is going to be eliminating the time and eliminating the grind at the lower end of the spectrum, which is a direct piece of feedback from players in trying to make a ship usable all the way at the top end. Okay? Because that's really, really hard to do. And I appreciate Mr. Tiger's effort in this refinery. And that's why I kind of asked that silly question at the beginning matters. Is it going to be a refinery ship or is it going to be a utility ship? Well, your definition of utility is going to matter, right? The definition of utility is going to matter. If it's hitting your level, probably not. If it's hitting something that eliminates you having to hit things to earn other things and lets you get things faster, well, then yeah. Okay? Let's continue with Beck's video. I want to continue on here because there's more that I want to share and fill in the gaps. Here we go.
Officer choice tokens, not to be confused with Reliant officer choice tokens. Augment reputation.
Okay, real quick. I saw this.
Oh,
this is no. This is a typo. Okay, this is a typo. In the blog, she actually writes. Let me see if I can find it here. And she just read it too. She said the officer tokens, not here, right here. Officer choice tokens, not to be confused with Reliant officer choice tokens. So there are two different choice tokens. Okay, we've got the Wrath officer choice tokens now, right? In the store right now. You go to the Augment faction and you've got the Wrath officer choice tokens now. That's these things that you earn through the common, through the epic bundles. Wrath officer choice tokens. Okay. There will be new Reliant officer choice tokens that come this month as well, which then does mean that there's another set of officers coming with a similar mechanic. I'll give you more information on that here in a moment.
Reliant parts, and standard tritanium and sigma tritanium for G6 players. The Reliant exclusive Forbidden Tech currencies claim supplies large amounts of Forbidden Tech fusion rods, Forbidden Tech tier catalysts, Forbidden Tech protomatter, and Forbidden Tech reactors.
Okay. For the people who were very curious about this, all right, Jules, I actually have a question for you. if you want to pop up on stage based on a piece of data that we've got, because I believe that we are looking at, okay, I know what this means. So, guys, you say there are no rods. I want you to look very closely here on the left-hand side of your screen. For those of you in podcast, we are looking at the Forbidden Tech mega claim that was in Beck's video at a timestamp of 224. Loston, thank you for your subs. At timestamp 224 in Beck's video, it shows the catalyst, the protomatter, and the reactor. The reason there are no rods is because you're at your cap. If you look at the bundle over here, Tarpy, you'll see that it's got a rod cap of 67,500. Okay, you are you're on a rod cap, Tarpy. Okay. All right.
Keep going.
If you have
I've gone past it. Okay.
67,500 rods, that is the cap. Why cap them?
That's a lot of rods.
Why cap them? Well, okay. I'm gonna answer this question with a story. Okay.
What? You're gonna tell us about rods?
Yes. I have been advocating for them to free up on this, as everybody has, okay? A lot of people have, for them to free up on this so that we can use Forbidden Tech like Chaos Tech, right? So that we can use Forbidden Tech and switch it around like Chaos Tech. That is actually not what they want. They like the model of Forbidden Tech being a little bit more permanent, with Chaos Tech being a little bit more like changing your socks. All right. So here's why, and I'm giving you direct verbatim, and we can talk to Mr. Tiger about this if you guys like. All right. But his thinking is on the higher ships, this is going to let you swap out 1 or 2, maybe 3 a day. If you're doing an unlock of one of those ships, obviously that's going to take everything that you've got, okay, because some of those are 60,000 more. But their intention is for Forbidden Tech to not be swapped as frequently as Chaos Tech. So, well, Stradalorian, here's the thing. They do want Forbidden Tech to swap more, which is why we're seeing some of this, but they don't want it swapping as much as Chaos Tech. I don't know. We'll have to talk to him about it. This is actually on my list of questions, is what is the mentality on Forbidden Tech and Chaos Tech with these caps and all this stuff. But anyway, to answer your question in the screenshot, the reason there's no rods here is because there is a cap of 67,500. 67,500 is the cap on fusion rods. If you are not at your cap, then you would earn the following sizes in these bundles. At tier 1, straight out the gate, you're earning 2,500. All right. And by the way, this bundle that you're looking at on your screen right here, this is a tier 1 bundle straight out of the gate. Okay. If you were not at your rod cap, you would be earning 2,500 rods. At tier 5 is your next increment, and it would go up to 3,750 rods. And this thing will scale all the way up to a max payout daily of 6,250. All right, which it's actually not a small number compared to what we've got now, but yep, thank you, Tony. That is for single chest. You're exactly right. So you could do double. This one looks like it's costing, and I can't see it super clear. I can't tell if that's uncommon or rare. I think it's uncommon. I think these are uncommon Wrath credits, but I can't see super well. Okay. 200 uncommon. That's what, so yeah, 200 uncommon would be a double pull. 50 uncommon would be a single pull. Okay. So there you go. That is this Forbidden Tech mega claim, and that was a question I saw a lot, was about the rods, and that is why. All right, continuing on.
The new Reliant Exclusive Priority 1 Away Teams claim provides a huge boost to P1 ATA activity with planetary charts, standard and Sigma ATA speedups, trait and officer XP, and assignment refresh tokens.
This particular screenshot does not show Sigma because it is not for a G6 player. You will earn Sigma speed ups as a G6 player on all of these. Wait a second. Is that right? There might be a typo in this data. I'll have to consult with Jules later. Planetary charts are coming in. There are no planetary charts in this screenshot. Planetary charts are in this bundle.
They also have a max. So it says at the top.
They
too.
do. Yeah,
Max
they do.
5,000.
Max charts 5,000. This is a capped screenshot. But you will earn straight out of the box, tier 1 planetary charts. Okay? And again, I can't see what this costs. It looks like 100 uncommon and 400 uncommon potentially would be the double pull, but I can't see exactly. Again, the Wrath credits look so similar. They look so similar. So, Jules, there could be a typo on this chart. I want to consult with you afterwards because that doesn't look right on the Sigmas. I think that's a mistake. But anyway, continuing on. So just letting you know that there will be Sigma speed-ups at a certain tier. All right. I don't think that one's going to come at tier 1, but I am going to double check. And there will be planetary charts. All right. Continuing.
In addition to these claims are exclusive Reliant tier-up gifts. At every tier, from tier 1 through tier 18, you can receive common, uncommon, rare, and epic Wrath credits, as well as the new Reliant Officer Choice tokens.
All right. I want to specify this. This is very cool. I like this mechanic. For every tier, you are getting a tier-up reward bundle that is going to include a bunch of stuff. All right? Now, this is super, super important. You will earn this one time and one time only per tier. So if we go to Beck's blog post and we're looking at these Reliant officer tokens, I want to be super clear about this because you're going to have to pick and choose a little bit. Right here where it says common Reliant choice token on the blog post, and she says, we've got Christopher Pike, 5 of 11, and the Borg Queen. You'll get 4 possible claims. That is basically you're getting 1 token per tier from tier 1 through tier 4. Okay? And you're going to get 1 token for you to spend on those officers, those 3 officers. That's all you get to choose. All right? Pike has a bundle, 5 of 11 has a bundle, and the Borg Queen has a bundle. Those are your 3 common groups, okay? Christopher Pike, and no, there's a bunch of shards, okay? Sniper says, what if you have...
It's a half unlock.
It is not a half unlock.
And they say?
It is not a half unlock. It says in here partial unlocks, and we've got the number of shards, which it does vary pretty much all the way up, okay? It is definitely more than 1 shard, okay? It's definitely more than 1 shard, but it's not a half. The key here is, though, that you only get 4 pulls. And it can be of all the Borg Queen. It can be all of 5 of 11. It can be whatever you want, but you're only going to get 4. All right? And then you're done with the commons. When you start earning the uncommons, you've got Freeman, Tendi, and Cisco. That's it. You can't go back. You're going to get 5 possible pulls out of those 3 officers. And then that's it. So when you're done, you're done. When you go up to the rare tokens, you're going to get 5 pulls there of Strange New Worlds, Pike, Doctor, and Enterprise E. Picard. Okay? And then you go up to the epic ones, which will be pretty much just for the G6 folks. Okay? This token is going to pop up. You're going to claim it in your tier-up reward gift, like we just saw on screen here just a moment ago, right here. And then you're going to be able to go and pull that in right here, okay? In the faction store, right here, you can see, here's the tier 1s. These are the commons. You can see here, there's Benjamin Sisko and Devon Attendi that unlocks at tier 5. Those are going to be your uncommons. And then you come down here to Freeman, Pike, and the Doctor, which are your rares, and then Picard, Marcus, and Torah are your epics. And I see, I do not, okay, I do see Wrath of Khan Montgomery Scott here, but I Yeah, never mind. He's in there.
Gifts.
I had to look. Okay, did she not put that on the blog post? Oh, yeah, right there. Montgomery Scott. All right, so Marcus, Scott, and Torah. All right, and you will earn those. All right, and you can see here. It gives you the officer numbers. There's 25 for Pike, 32 for 5 of 11, 30 for the Borg Queen, 23 for Cisco, 24 for Tendi, and it goes on. It'll show you how many you can earn. Okay? Now, do remember Voltron. He says Cisco has great sourcing already. Not sure why he's there. This unlocks at 26. Let me ask you a question. Where does Cisco have his great, amazing sourcing? Where does it come from? Bonus points if you know the answer. Tarpy, matters.
What?
Where does Benjamin Cisco come from? You're right, Voltron. You got it. He's a 40-plus officer. He's a 40-plus officer.
Wait, when can they unlock this one? What tier was that?
Tier 5, which also,
what
as it turns out,
is that?
Ops 40.
Okay.
But
there you
it's
go.
consistent, okay? It's consistent. So you got to remember, you can't start earning Cisco until Ops 40 when you start on Bajoran. Now you've got an opportunity to work on him in 2 different spots.
Not entirely true.
Yeah.
If you are below Ops 40 and have transporter patterns.
Transporter patterns. Okay, there you go. Okay.
But more places to get more officers.
Bajoran, listen, guys, Bajoran starts at 35, but I'm pretty sure Cisco comes in the Epic chest, which you can't get until 40. Okay? Cisco does, Bajoran starts earlier, but he comes in the Epic chest. Okay? All right, continuing.
Every tier, from Tier 1 through Tier 18, you can receive common, uncommon, rare, and epic Wrath credits, as well as the new Reliant Officer Choice tokens. What are Reliant Officer Choice tokens, you ask? Reliant Officer Choice tokens are special tokens earned through tiering up the USS Reliant, allowing you exclusive partial unlocks to officers per tier. Common Reliant Choice tokens are rewarded from Tier 1 to Tier 4 and include Christopher Pike, 5 of 11, and the Borg Queen, making 4 possible claims in total. Uncommon Reliant Choice tokens are rewarded from Tier 5 to Tier 9 and include Benjamin Cisco, Devon Tendi, and Carol Freeman, making 5 possible claims in total. The Rare Reliant Choice tokens are rewarded from Tier 10 to Tier 14 and include S&W Christopher Pike, the Doctor, Enterprise E Picard, with 5 possible claims in total. Lastly, the Epic Reliant Choice tokens are rewarded from Tier 15 and higher, and include the newly released Wrath of Khan Carol Marcus, Wrath of Khan Montgomery Scott, and Dajosh Tolra from the Symbiosis arc, with 4 possible claims per officer. The Reliant also has new exclusive favors, such as additional officer cost efficiencies for more recent crews, an additional chest roll to ship BP rewards in the P1 ATA store, and multiple high-impact stat buffs. In addition, if you own the Prime Augment Ordinance, the USS Reliant raises all Wrath credit payout values by 50%.
Okay, I did that one. I got that one. That one was me. I did that one. Aren't you proud of me? Aren't you proud of me? I did that one. That one was me.
Wait, which Prime does that raise?
That raises the Prime Ordinance that I complained about last month that I said was absolutely no value.
It matters. You hear this?
So, no, here's the deal. I came out last month and I said that this Prime was not going to have any value to it because Tiger came out and said that Wrath credits weren't really going to be our issue this month. And so when I went back to him, he was like, why did you say that? And I was like, well, you've got all this other stuff and all these other Wrath tokens that are coming in, all these daily claims for having the Reliant, yada, yada, yada. And I said, this is not going to be that much. And so then he went back and said, okay, we'll give him a 50% boost. All right, a 50% boost. So if you own the Reliant at all, you get a 50% boost to whatever level of Prime that you've got here. Now, here's the thing. If you're Tier 1, level 1 on this Prime, you're only getting 5 Epic, then the 50% boost is only going to take you to 8. Okay? But
that's still useless.
Well, we say it's useless, but we're looking at all these other bundles that have 10 and 12. And again, with the Epics, this is a currency. By the way, I'm not defending it, okay? I'm just saying every little bit of Epic currency is going to help here. And this is one of those primes that is going to benefit early. I'm not necessarily sure that even I am going to go back and buy this thing. I just wanted to point out that this was a prime that I pooped on last month. I appreciate them offering a boost to it through the Reliant. I still don't know if it's 100% there, but I will tell you, I mean, Matters, he was happy with this prime last month and the fact that it gave 500 common. Now it'll give 750. Okay? If you're looking for rare, it's given 75. And this is a day free claim that doesn't cost any splicers. So that is also a very, very big deal. All right. So again, just throwing this out there that this was direct feedback and a very last minute change that they made about Augment Prime Ordinance because Jules and I pooped on it last month. So, so Jules, they fixed it for us, baby. All right, there you go. So there you go. This is a prime that now may have more value to you. I'm not suggesting that you go and buy it, but I'm just telling you that if you own this prime, it will automatically, day one on unlocking the ship, improve by 50% for you. It is a different set of bundles, so make sure you claim your old bundle. Whoops! Sorry. Make sure you claim your old bundle, and then unlock the ship, and then you can immediately go and claim the new bundle again if you want. Okay? So
related question.
Yeah.
To this, does having the Reliant also boost the amount of Wrath credits in your daily Refinery claims?
No.
Okay.
No, because
Cool.
the Reliant has its own claims. All right. And that was what we were just discussing earlier. The number of common, uncommon, rare, and epic that come based on your ops, based on your tier. Those are all scaling, and those are your extra Wrath choice tokens. Where, I mean, you're talking, listen, a G5 player very early on, very early, could earn as many as 1,000 common a day with their, and that is for a single pull. So 2,000 common. Okay. If you double pulled that chest. To compare, Tarpy, in that same 2,000 common pull, you're only getting 28 epic. All right. So the fact that you could take 20 and make it 30, I mean, that prime is still paying out better than the Reliant claim would. All right. I'm not defending it. I'm just saying that the number of epic Wrath credits is scaled down so low. I mean, we've got multiple layers of favor that only cost like 200 and 300 credits. Okay. So,
Right.
So just because it looks small, most of the costs are small. You got to make sure and compare those,
So
apples
size
to apples. Yeah.
shouldn't matter here. Is that what you're trying to also say, or what?
I am not saying that size doesn't matter, because we all know that it does. What I'm saying is, I would rather have, a pocket full of dimes than just one quarter. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it just looks at, I'm looking at this. I bought the $20 version of this because I was the first person to see what the numbers were. And I still don't think that it's worth the $20, even with the extra Reliant boost to it.
I asked for more. This is what I got. I'm still not.
I mean, it's better with the Reliant.
It is. It's better.
Bad, but like,
I think here is the point, right? I didn't want this to be another Parts Prime. All right. You guys remember how passionate I was about Parts Prime. I was very passionate about Syndicate Prime. Okay. When they sold this Prime, and then the next month they came out with a thing that essentially nullified the Prime. Right. Okay. I mean, that's what I saw happening here. That's what Jules saw happening here. And people who bought this Prime last month, I didn't want them to feel like garbage this month when we're looking at hundreds more credits that are coming out. So I did pitch a higher number. The fact that they're giving anything is probably better, and probably a token that alleviates the Syndicate Prime debacle and the Parts Prime debacle. If you've already bought this thing, then at least you're getting more value out of it than when you bought it. For example, Matters, you bought this Prime. If you get the ship, you're getting extra bonus that you didn't ask for and wasn't on the description of the product when you bought it. You should be happy. Okay?
Agreed.
For me, I'm kind of with Tarpy. I still don't know if the value's there for me to spend $100 on this Prime. All right. But at least now the Prime would be improved if I also go with the ship. This was not meant.
Eventually.
This was not meant to make this Prime worth it. It was to not make paying customers feel crappy about the Prime they bought last month. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
My specific complaint is I don't want another Parts Prime debacle. I don't want another Syndicate Prime debacle. Okay? So that's what I wanted. And they made an improvement on that, so I can't complain. Okay? Do I think it's worth it to go buy right now? I don't know if I'm going to or not. Probably not. I've got other things to spend on this month, I think. But if you did buy the Prime last month, then you're getting more and you should be happy. Okay? Okay. Continuing on with Beck's video. We've got a little bit left.
Outside of the Reliant exclusive favors, players will also find new Augment faction favors specifically designed for USS Reliant owners. All of the following unlock with common, uncommon, rare, or epic wrath credits and are gated only by your Reliance tier, with the exception of the warp range bonus that is tied to your ops level. Let's take a look at them in more detail. For USS Reliant owners...
I want to comment on this, actually, Divine. That's a really, really good point. And probably one that Matters would totally agree with. Divine says, listen, we're talking with smaller numbers, but that's because everything is in smaller scale. To put it in perspective, 5 days of the Prime gives 100 epic credits. One chest of epic loot only provides 150 every 5 days. If you did a double pull of epic, you're getting 300, which means the Prime is a 33% boost to your income. 5 days of Prime equal to the 5-day cooldown would take you from 300 to 400 on a double pull, or it's roughly equal on a single pull. That's a fair perspective. That is a mathematical and comparatively analytical perspective, Divine. I appreciate that. That's the math. Okay? 5 days of the Prime equals 100 credits. One single pull of epic loot has a 5-day cooldown, and it gives 150 credits. If you did a double pull, it's 300. The Prime would get you another 100. It's a 33% boost. Thank you, Divine. That is objective math, and I appreciate that. That is not emotional. That is mathematical. Thank you very much. All right, continuing.
New powerful favors provide some major enhancements, such as Officer Shard cost efficiency for the Retaliation Squad, Symbiosis Crew, Galaxy Quest Crew, Mirror Universe Crew, and the NX-01 Crew. Advanced Drafting provides an additional chest pull when claiming Priority 1 ship blueprints in the Away Team store. Hyperalgesia prevents enemy players from reducing your critical hit damage below its base 100%. Hypoalgesia reduces critical hit damage taken from enemy player ships by up to 150%. This is not applicable in Station Defense. Advanced Structural Integrity increases base HHP for all ships by up to 2,000.
Look at those numbers, Tarpy. Good God Almighty. Stat bloat at its finest. We're talking level 2 of a new free-to-play favor is 600% hull health boost. Level 5 of this favor, which is grindable, free-to-play, is 2,000% hull health boost. Woo! Damn. All right. Now, good question. Mort says, which favors are Reliant locked? I'm confused on the wording. My understanding is none of these are Reliant locked. Jules, tell me I'm wrong. I'm going to back up. I want to listen to what Beck has to say again. I don't think any of them are. Let's listen again.
Hit damage below its base 100%. For USS Reliant owners, new powerful favors provide some major enhancements.
Well, maybe. She specifically said for new Reliant owners. I thought these favors just took normal credits, but it must be, they must not unlock until, oh, you know what? It probably, I wonder if it'll scroll down. I bet they're like these are. It says unlocks at superior, but I bet it's going to be like this, unlocks at tier 15. I bet it's going to be like an unlock at tier 1 thing. Yeah, I bet it's going to be like an unlocks at tier 1. So they are going to be for Reliant owners. Okay. And these are all the same style of efficiencies for all these officer shards, et cetera, like what we
They
saw last
probably
month.
won't even show up until you have it.
Well, I don't know.
I don't think it'll say unlocks at tier 1. I don't think people even see them until they build the ship.
Yeah, that's probably accurate. We'll see here. Hang on.
Which is Officer Shard cost efficiency for the Retaliation Squad, Symbiosis Crew, Galaxy Quest Crew, Mirror Universe Crew, and the NX-01 crew.
Thank you, Lost In.
Advanced Drafting provides an additional chest pull when claiming Priority 1 ship blueprints in the Away Team store.
I'm not going to... I want to not gloss over that because, Tarpy, this is also a direct feedback item. You guys had asked for faster sourcing in the ATA store when it came to the new G6 and like the new ships that got added in here.
Yes. What?
This favor will now allow for a +1. So you still have the cost down here that are 626, 65, or whatever in my case. This is going to be like in refinery fashion. It will add a blueprint to each of these. So instead of one chest being at 600,
same cost?
Yeah. So I mean, basically that favor is a +1, and that favor gets you essentially 100% efficiency. So for the 600 Pioneers Crest, for example, I could get 1 blueprint. Now I'll get 2 with that favor. It'll be 2, 3, and 4.
Oh,
it's a +1.
That wasn't planned before, or
no?
Like, is that something they added, or that was?
Yeah, that was added when you guys were talking about the ATA store last month. That was added in, which I love.
Cool.
Yeah, I love that.
That's really cool.
That was added in because players
that.
wanted to get these blueprints a little bit faster. So they made that decision at the same time that they had lowered the ops by 2. And they said, listen, we're going to go ahead and offer this next one in a favor. So, yeah, anyway, just wanted to let you guys know that was player derived. Really cool. Very quick turnaround.
Yeah.
All right.
That's really cool.
Back to the video.
Algesia prevents enemy players from reducing your critical hit damage below its base 100%. Hypoalgesia reduces critical hit damage taken from enemy player ships by up to 150%. This is not applicable in station defense. Advanced Structural Integrity increases base HHP for all ships by up to 2,000%. Metaphysics Shielding increases base SHP for all ships by up to 2,000%. Augment Warp Core increases the base warp range for the USS Reliant by up to 920. And Augment Exile Superhighways grants a mission in the Augment Faction store to unlock Augment Exile Space Superhighways. That was a lot of detail, but rest assured, all of this information and more can be found in the coordinating blog post about the USS Reliant on our official website. And that's your sneak peek into the USS Reliant, your key to conquering Augment Exile threats in Star Trek Fleet Command. Make sure to check out our official patch notes on release date for more information about all things Wrath of Khan. Before you go, don't forget to leave a comment telling us what you think about the new ship, and join our official Discord to get plugged into our awesome Star Trek Fleet Command community. Until next time, Commanders, live long and prosper.
All right, 2 things. First of all, that is a sick t-shirt, and I want one. All right, I love that black on black, like 3D raised Federation logo. Freaking love that shirt. And just shouting out, those are Mrs. Putz's homemade earrings that she sent. Yeah, they are. Look at that. Look at that. That is a very cool shirt. Okay, now let's go and ask some of these questions. Yo-Yo Dude says, I don't know if people are going to benefit because of how long it takes to do the AT research. So let's go back and talk about the Reliant again. Okay. Reliant is also going to have a Priority 1 ATA claim bundle. That claim bundle will include additional refresh tokens, more planetary charts, and more speed ups. Okay? So that is going to happen as well. The planetary charts are still not as high as I wanted them to be. All right? But they are maintained. You remember when Mr. Tiger came out here, Matters, and he said, listen, we want less volume. We want there to be higher value. We feel like we wanted better rewards in them, but they were going to take a little bit more time. Players are going to this, again, is a little bit of a step away of normal approach. Listen, this is classic Tiger game design, okay? He's actually trying to build in some of the feedback that we've talked about. Even though ATAs are somewhat passive, this one's not really. You know what I'm saying? Like, this one kind of is passive, but not really, because you got to grind the hostiles. So he's making it so that we are doing less, okay? We are doing less. I personally wanted more planetary charts. A lot of people fussed about the speed ups. We got both. All right, there's more speed ups coming. There's more planetary charts coming. Jules and I analytically agreed that the bottleneck here is planetary charts. Okay, that's the bottom line. Right now, currently in the game, and by the way, where I hit my 60 million rep, by the way, yay, go me. Where I hit my 60 million rep, I now have started doing cons challenges, and I earn a bunch of the insignia tokens, and then I earned a bunch of speed ups and some planetary charts and blah, blah, blah. So I ran a couple of assignments, and I was able to do some research. Somebody had also asked this question: what is Priority 1 Con's favor? Thank you for reminding me to pull that. This is a free daily claim that is unlocked by a research. I'm at level 5 on my research, and I get to claim this every single day with 1,200 Pioneer's Crest in it. It will not take long for this thing to pay for itself. Plus, it comes with some primes. Okay? I'll show you where it is in the research tree. You're right, V-Real. You are exactly right. Speed-ups don't matter if you can't start them. I agree, which is why my big push has been on the planetary charts. We are going to see a boost in planetary charts this month, but it's not a ton, okay? Still not a ton. So you are still going to have to kind of pick and choose here, and I think that this was fully intended, okay? I think this was fully intended by Mr. Tiger. We can talk to him about that on Thursday. After you unlock Conquest, there is a research here called Con's Favor. It unlocks and improves a daily gift from Con in the ATA store. For those of you curious about the contents of that, we have all of that in Jules' fancy little chart here. Let me see if I can find it. Bum, 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 bum. Where is it? Away teams, store. Here it is. The priority mega. Here it is. Con's Favor. This one right here. This is Con's Favor. And I'll put this screenshot in the graphics room. The time is precisely 10:30 p.m. Eastern time. This is all 10 levels of that research. It does indeed cost the badges, like those insignias, in order to do that, okay? It costs the insignias, not Epic Wrath credits or Pioneer's Crest even, but the actual insignias that I am earning from the Cons challenges. Now, I am not 1,000% sure that I did this in the right order, but I think I did. All right? I did not spend any of my insignias on skill points or Joaquin. I spent them all on Con's Favor because, again, the Pioneer's Crest are very, very important to me. So I'm not sure if I did the right thing there. I'd be curious. You know, Doman told me I was approaching this all wrong last month. So I'm going to ask him again this month if I'm doing the right thing. And we'll see what he says and give you guys a little bit of insight. But I spent all of my insignias on this because the Pioneer's Crest are very important to me. And the more Pioneer's Crest that I earn every single day, the more that I will be able to go in and do research. And then, of course, be able to tier up my officers, et cetera, et cetera. And like I said, now with the new ship, I will be able to auto-grind a lot more of those Champions trophies to be able to run more Cons missions. All right? So, but is there a right and wrong way to play this? I guarantee I know what Tiger's answer is going to be, Matters. All right? I know what his answer is going to be, and it's going to be, well, there's not a right or wrong. It's your choice. And I love choice. Somebody bet me. Somebody bet me he's going to come out here and be like, I love choice. I love giving players choice. There's not a right or wrong answer. Do what feels good. All right? That's what he's going to say. Guarantee it. Guarantee it. All right. So we'll ask him that question, and we're going to see what he says. But that's right. Mord says, who doesn't love choice? Durr says, and Hani says he's listening and is not going to say it now. No, I guarantee he's going to say it. Because that's all I heard for the last week. Every question has been, well, it's all about choice, right, DJs? I love choice. I love giving players choice. And he does. All of his designs surround choice. And what the hell? I literally just now noticed in Jules's chart, we have this extra little column over here that I just put into the graphics room. What? It says, for those of you in podcasts, it says DJz is squishy. Right here in the middle of the augment table. You know, that is ridiculous. Who did that? Did he just now? Wait, he just now did it live? Love you too, Jules. Love you too. All right, more questions. I've got 24 minutes left on the clock. I will answer your questions. 24 minutes left on the clock. I will answer your questions. If it is about anything that we have discussed here tonight, I will be happy to share. I will be happy to fill in the gaps. I'll give you some extra data. Whatever. I think.
Can I ask one?
1 second. Did we? Yeah. That was everything in the video. So we haven't talked about. I already gave the. Okay, you know what? I know what I can say. I had already given the update about the Franklin needing to be tier 9 for your upcoming independent archive thing, right? I had already said that. And then a lot of people were like, whoa, DJz, what about the warp pieces? Because I can't do those without buying. Okay? Right? People were worried about that. Well, the good news is that I can't find my note now. But the answer to that is going to be the blueprints will be available in Cosmic Cleanup like they always have been, but the warp parts. Where did I see this in my notes?
The warp parts have been in event stores.
In event stores. Here we go. For players who have scrapped their Franklins and will need to rebuild them to acquire mastery and who already own a Franklin A new bundle will be available in the Refinery, providing free access to the Franklin's warp drives, which would have otherwise only been acquirable via missions or events. There you go. So they are making, here we are 3 or 4 years later, and all of the Franklin warp parts will now be available in the Refinery. How about that?
So this is for the baby Franklin, right?
Yes.
And this is...
Yes, that is for baby Franklin. Well...
Completely understanding. If you did the...
Did the Frank A have those things too?
Yeah, there were warp blocks, I think, for that too. But
okay.
It still takes forever to max, but it doesn't matter as much once you're Ops 38. But my question is going to be, for those of us who 2 years ago, 3 years ago, however many years ago it came out, did the get the Franklin to tier 8?
Yeah.
And buy the extra $20 to tier 9, we have to now get an entirely new.
Yep. That is the correct answer. Yep.
Well,
that is the correct answer. You never got tier 9, did you? You never got tier 9, did you?
No, because 3 years ago, people wouldn't have known that was important.
How did you guys not know 3 years ago that mastery was going to come? And and for the record, even a month or two, suckers. I'm kidding. I'm obviously joking, but
yes,
no.
Anybody who has it at tier 9 is fine.
Anybody who has it at tier 9 is fine, but if you only took it to 8 and scrapped it, you got to go back to 9 if you want mastery. Got to go back to 9.
I only took it to tier 8 and scrapped it and bought the other parts. But looking at my original Franklin Refinery, I'm not going to bother getting another one and taking it just so I can get that mastery. Just
depending they don't.
I don't feel like I'm
slightly
losing
better.
Well, they are going to make it slightly better, but again, Matters is right. The number of
It's like 5 million
tokens,
titanium
it's
or something.
not
I'm
really.
not grinding out another Franklin for that.
Yeah.
Matters. They also basically doubled the amount of lat in the Fuchsia.
It depends on what's important to you.
Yeah.
Totally depends on what's important to you. Now, if you took it to 9 and scrapped it, you guys are fine. If you took it to 9 and you scrapped it, you're fine. That means your refinery is coded as 9 in the database. It's only for people who never got to tier 9. If you scrapped it at tier 8, then you're going to have to go back and do it again. If you waited till 9 and scrapped it, you're completely fine. You will be set for mastery on day 1. But if you never had a tier 9 refinery, how do we know where we scrapped it? I guess you'll find out in a couple.
Find out soon.
You'll find out tomorrow.
And wait until reset. By the way, don't be like last month when people immediately did the Fuchsia one.
There will not
wait until reset.
There will not be independent archive events this month because that just started.
Because people whined.
That just started them down a path of being backed up on tickets for the entire month. They never recovered.
Jeez.
Okay. So they literally said to me just the other day, they were like, we are not doing that again. That was a nightmare. That event has been officially scrapped. So that one is not happening again.
So people jumping the gun an hour before reset.
There were so many of them.
The rest of us don't get
so many tickets. So many tickets. All right. Carissa says, I'm still going to wait. I don't think that's a terrible idea. I think you should still wait, but I am not expecting that event. They're not doing it because it was so bad. It was so bad this past month. So anyway, but yeah, you're definitely going to want to look in there, Tarpy, to go back and circle around your original question. You're going to have to go back and see if it's something that you want to do, okay? If it is something you want to do for that last pillar, then fine. You'll have to
make bank on
you'll have to
Franklins.
you'll have to regrind it, okay? But you may not decide that you want to. All right. As a matter of fact, I mean, there is a really cool looking avatar in there for mastery. Okay. Other questions. Other questions. Let me look. Retrieving. It wasn't even about the event launching on time, even though I know it was late, but you would be surprised how many people even did it before noon anyway. Okay.
You know what?
It was so bad. So
bad. If you want to buy a Franklin, you can get it for $50 or $40 or something.
Who would do that?
Right?
Joker
there
says
are people who will do that. You know that.
You know what, Joker? Good question. I want to go back to Beck's video because I don't remember seeing that. Let's see if we can find that real quick. He was asking about the protected cargo on the Reliant. What we know is the one that she was out here grinding with in the test video. Let's see if we can find it. This is mainly store stuff, isn't it? Did I go too far? Might have gone too far. Let's go back to the beginning. Where was she grinding? Okay, here we go. I'll turn this down. Let's just see if we can find where she clicks on a hostile. Okay. That was too fast. Let me back up. Back up again. There we go. Okay. So, right here, this is a hard one to see. So, this is, if I'm ballpark guessing, this is probably around tier 5-ish. Okay? This is probably around tier 5-ish because she's hitting the level 50s. No, so that's probably closer to tier 8 or tier 9. All right? It's holding a total cargo of 19 million, and of that, protected is probably only 3 to 4. It might even be a little bit less than that. Can you guys see here? Let me turn off my camera. I am going to assume out of the 19 million total cargo, we're seeing protected of maybe between 3 and 4 million in this particular case. Lost In says it's only 1 million. No, I think it's more than that. Vasuba says maybe 2 million. Okay, maybe between 2 and 3. And this is I am guessing probably around tier 8-ish. All right, I'm going to guess tier 8-ish. Now, again, don't forget, this thing has a high base. This thing has a high base protected cargo, which, again, let me remind you, my particular, you got 75,000 isolytic damage boost. You don't need a killing crew. You need a loot protection crew. Okay? And Shadowed Fox says, keep in mind, this is probably without research. I can almost guarantee it. As a matter of fact, there is a favor for warp range as well. And I don't know how much of that has been done on this particular account either. Okay? Riskbreaker says warp range doesn't help much if you can't hit high. And that's kind of the thing, Riskbreaker. I got to be honest with you. I'm not going to probably be spending a lot of my credits on the warp range for this thing because, again, at least my perspective, all right, my value proposition on this thing is going to be punching lower, is going to be eliminating that lower common and uncommon grind so that now I can focus on the 62s. That is literally going to just kind of give me one hostile now that I got to hit. Okay? So that is my expectation. Okay. Cruzito says you need a PvP crew, otherwise you're going to die. You're going to die anyway. You're going to die anyway. Listen, if I come at you with a big ship, you're going to die anyway. So protect as much as you can protect. And again, if it's got a high base protected and all of your protected officers are percentage based, guys, I mean, what was the Devore? The Fisha. Remember how like you guys could run that special crew and get more protected cargo than the ship actually had cargo? Like, do you guys remember when you could get like 100% protected on the Fisha? Now, I'm not suggesting you can do that here, but you're going to be able to get a really high protected cargo. Okay? You are. Because the base is high compared to its total percentage of cargo. All right? Yeah, there's some exocomps for cargo. I don't know if that's going to be the right way because those are timed, and you're going to want to stick this thing out overnight and all that stuff. Devore had research and so forth and so on. I agree. All right?
So
go ahead,
even
Tarby.
if you hit 3 of these D7s, that's probably 3 more than you hit without it. And that is all of the loot from those D7s that you didn't have before. So any D7s you can hit while you're still doing your regular grinding in the higher systems, that's twice as much loot in or more in the same amount of time.
Yeah. If you're doing it at the same time, sure. All right. But again, I look at this.
Or 3 times the amount.
I look at this as the replacement for my junker. You know what I'm saying? Or listen, the junker can't beam.
That's a third ship.
Yeah, it's a third one. The junker can't beam the D7s, so I'll send the Reliant over there. I'll still use the junker, and I'll still be grinding up at the top. Or I'll just send the Reliant out overnight. You know what I'm saying? And Lost In, you're exactly right. Sorry, I'm eating pepperoni. Lost In has it long term. It's all about the champion trophies, people. You're 1,000% right. This can offer 5 times the number of champions trophies. 5 times. Spock says, how about you just active grind the D7s and be done in 10 minutes? Well, yeah, maybe. There's you another.
Go steal everyone else's.
Yeah. So, again.
The people that don't have the Reliant yet aren't going to care if you kill their chasers. So, yeah, just go in there and sweep all the D7s.
Well, that's actually a really good point, too. Probably doing some people some favors. All right. Yeah, you're probably doing some people some favors. So that's pretty, again, Lost In is starting to see it. Riskbreaker's starting to see it. And I'm trying to find this cargo or this comment because I would like to clip it. Lost In says, this ship looks perfect for this. Low investment to be useful if you adjust your expectations. I may be in love with Mr. Tiger. Can he design every arc? Lost In, I appreciate that comment, and he will too, because that was his goal, was to find a way to build value proposition, even for the larger players, without it having to replace your G6 epics, because there is no replacement for a G6 epic. You know what I'm saying? You just can't. So hopefully this will provide that opportunity. Cruzito says, how do you think this will affect performance of the systems with all the floaters? Well, have you looked in Yarda lately? That is what I expect. I don't know if they're going to launch new systems. I kind of hope that they do soon. I don't know that they will this month, but now it makes sense as to why there's 40 and 42 and 44 and 46 instead of just 40, 50, 60, because you're going to need to space out here a little bit. I'm here to tell you, as soon as I can get out of the 40 system and go to the 42s or go to the 44s, I'm going to do it. Retro says, how does the ship affect loot goblins? Same thing. Huge loot bonus, and you're immune to the go-home cannon. You're immune to the warp destabilization. So now there's no more losing to loot goblins. All right? You're not going to lose to the loot goblins, and you're going to be, and you're still going to get the loot bonus on those things. Jules says, did you talk about the accelerated time frame for higher ops on? Yes, we did. I didn't go into a super lot of nerd detail on that, but I did draw a comparison. For example, G3 to get to tier 3 would take like 80 days, but it would only take a G6 20 days to get to tier 3 natively through the grind, all right, like through the refineries. So it is accelerated, the higher ops, because you've got longer to go to make this thing, useful to you. But I'll be honest with you, even built into that accelerated model, I like it because that is going to let me get out of that lower level system faster and leave the level 40 system for the G3s and G4s and let me go to a 42 or 44 and just kind of grind over there. You know what I'm saying? Because it is going to get crowded there. It is going to get crowded. Count DeVille says, will packs give more parts at higher ops levels? I do believe that is the plan. That is what happened with the Junker and why there was the miscommunication with the parts. I expect that to happen again, which is why they are not advertising an acceleration pack. All right. So I think that was part of the trouble. McIlroy says, is the skin worth it? All right, I got to go back. What skin?
Are we talking about the ones from last month? Are those going to be free to play at all, or are those?
I cannot offer commentary on that yet. The new one for Reliant. Is that in here?
There's a skin for the Reliant already?
The skin I don't know that you know about. All right, somebody send me the VIP magazine link. Send me the VIP magazine link. I got to look at it. Once I know that Scopely released it, then I'll tell you everything you need to know about that too. But send me the link. Come on now. Send it to me. I'm not doing it. You guys are trying to trick me. All right? I'm not releasing nothing that's not in that magazine. But if you send me the magazine, then I'll absolutely put it on stream for everybody. And I will absolutely happily broadcast the VIP magazine to everybody. Okay, I don't have a problem with that. All right, Juby is sending it to me. Give me a second. Let me pull it up here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, introducing to you Star Trek Fleet Command Prime, Volume 8, the June magazine. Let's take a look and see what we got in here. It looks like there might be a puzzle in here, too. Okay. So, is there anything supposed to be on that page? Guess not. All right. Editor's note. Oh, this is good. I got to read this. Can I read this? Okay.
Can you read?
Commanders. For those of you in podcast, I'm going to read this. Commanders, we know the last release did not go as smoothly as we had hoped. From day one, the team has been hard at work addressing issues to improve the overall gameplay experience. We truly appreciate your patience and support. We also want to sincerely thank those of you who took the time to fill out the first impression surveys, which are sent the day after a release. Your input provides valuable insights straight from the players and is shared with key decision makers within the team to help guide improvements. Many of you sent kind messages about the interview with Panda Pirate in our previous issue. He asked to include a special correction and give a big shout out to Senior Hammy, as well as the amazing CM and moderator teams. I would also like to take a moment to thank Panda for acknowledging the work. It is genuinely appreciated. Update 79 is here, bringing exciting new content like the introduction of 2 iconic ships to the independent archives as we continue our journey through the Wrath of Khan. In this issue, take a deeper dive into everything new with the exclusive insights and Update 79. We've also lined up 2 special interviews, including one with legendary on-call Doc himself. We'd love to hear what you think. Share your feedback and reach out to Mystic Nightingale. Your voice shapes our future. Okay, so let's continue on. That was nice and fluffy. Let's see what we can find here about actual content. All right, 2 new officers, Savick, Montgomery Scott. That's fantastic. Savick is going to be one of the officers. I do not see abilities in-game. Savick is extremely effective in situations where precision and discipline are paramount. Captains who engage in wave defense or equivalent high-pressure combat missions can find her especially useful. She also proves to be especially valuable as a companion to certain officers, assuming an unobtrusive but effective role in optimizing performance. For those players who will shortly be engaging in Priority 1 away teams assignments, Savick may be a name worth remembering. I'm going to, just for my own funsies, I'm going to look at her abilities and see if that is in any way accurate, because that makes me giggle. Okay. I can get behind that. I can get behind that. All right, continuing. Montgomery Scott in-game. This version of Scott is a valuable asset when it comes to combat and reward missions. Captains who value tactical effectiveness and resource gathering will find his work especially resonating. His work also assists in those working on away teams missions where loyalty, determination, and devotion can be a decisive factor. For captains looking to get the most strategic bang for their buck, Scott is an officer deserving of serious thought. Looking at his abilities. Yeah, I can get behind that too. All right. All right, let's see what else we got in here. The new ship, the new USS Reliant. Engineered for precision, durability, and efficiency, the Reliant is built to turn the tide against the most formidable of threats. I am looking here for anything that we haven't already discussed tonight. There's the interview. Forgive me, I'm trying to skim quickly. There's the code. There's the puzzle code if anybody wants to screenshot that. This is Morse code, a classic form of communication where each letter is represented by dots and dashes. And here is your clue. Born of logic, calm and grace, yet I stared death in the face. A chamber filled with blinding light. I walked alone to set things right. My friends cried out, I could not hear. Through glass, my end was drawing near. My choice was mine, I softly said, though soon I'd lie among the dead. But death to me is not the end, for time and space may always bend. Through sacrifice, I showed my soul that needs of the many make one whole. Who am I? Looks like you guys have already solved that in the chat, but you guys can have a little bit of fun with that puzzle there as well. All right. Let's see. It looks like we have another interview here. And I am continuing to look for, there's Incursion results. That's fantastic. Looking at that. Server 15 got our butts kicked by Server 10. Congratulations to you guys. All right, still looking for LEEKS. I see no leaks. See, you guys were trying to trick me. Look at that. There you go. Leaks. See? No leaks. You guys were trying to trick me. Shame on you. Shame, shame, shame. All right, there you go. How do I get out of this? I can't even get out of it now. Oh, exit. There we go. Boom. All right, other questions. We've got literally 4 minutes left until we are ready to raid over. By the way, 500 of you in the live studio on this Tarpy. What? What? You guys are incredible. Thank you very much. Okay. So what does the skin do that I confirmed? I didn't confirm any skin. Rev isn't a content creator and knows about the skin. What are you talking about?
You mean
hey,
people are choosing to break their NDAs with him? That's their choice.
I don't. Oh, I see. I cannot discuss it. Any of the content. I cannot discuss any of the content that was not in the video or in the blog post.
Like he put in his announcement that he will still find stuff out ahead of time, and I'm like, wait a second, you just advertised that you will say that people are going to be breaking their NDAs?
Oh, well,
that's great. Yikes.
Yeah. Rev knows there's 2 events for the Franklin ship tomorrow. Does he now? All right, we'll see. Because I was told those events were specifically not going to run. That's what I was told. Now watch me be wrong.
I mean, more stuff. But
it could happen.
I mean,
not going to happen.
Yeah, that's how you find out.
Maybe.
Anyway.
Maybe so. Yeah, that's possible. Viper, thank you for the 29-month resub. Lost In has dropped 10 gifted. 15 gifted tonight. Damn, dude. Thank you.
You get the skin when you take the cap off of the rods.
Jules, what the hell, man? Jules.
That instead.
No, you cannot say things like that.
Why not?
Shame on you, sir. I am out of things to drink. I'm thirsty. Yeah, no, these are not Hobbit snacks. I'm eating turkey pepperoni. I'm eating turkey pepperoni because I'm munching. I'm munching really bad today. All right.
So I'm not going to ask you for a leak per se, but is the Reliant the thing that you are looking forward to the most out of what's coming tomorrow?
It's the only thing coming. It's the only thing coming.
Only thing.
Listen, Beck and I were talking about this, about like what we were going to talk about on Thursday. And I'm like, it's got to be the ship, right? Because there's nothing else. All right. And when I say nothing else, obviously there's officers. Obviously there's some quality of life stuff coming. All right. Obviously there's some chaos tech coming. There's going to be some primes coming. All that stuff is coming. But the feature is the Reliant. That's it. And what I love about it is not that it's the Reliant. It's not even that it might end up having some early level utility. It's not that it is quote unquote acceptable monetization and paying to skip grind. It's not any of those things. It is the fact that nothing has changed from last month in the form that this arc is completely grindable for you. Con, the favors, the wrath credits, all this stuff is still grindable. All that reputation is still grindable. All right? There are things that are locked behind the Reliant, but even the Reliant will let you start earning blueprints right here from day one. So, you know, it is a 100-day model, and this is, by the way, this is one thing that I am going to talk to Mr. Tiger about on Thursday, which was... It was Lost In. Thank you so much. And we're in a hype train now, and I'm going to celebrate this here in just a second. Do you remember how I said on Thursday, Tarpy, that my biggest disappointment was that they had this unlimited grinders arc this month, but next month we were not going back to it, right? I said that. And Bubba actually came out and defended them. and saying, listen, if they need to take time, because they are a data-driven company, if they need to take time and come in and examine how this unlimited grinders model works and how it worked and how many players did it and all this and, you know, the effects and all this stuff, and they're willing to revisit it at a later time, then you need to give them the opportunity to do that. To simply say you're not doing it 2 months in a row, how dare you, is actually not fair. And this, by the way, is from Bubba Joe. Okay? So it is something that I want to talk to Tiger about, because what I praised about Wrath of Khan Part 1 is no time locks, which there wasn't, right? You could grind as much as you wanted to grind. Now, yes, the Reliant is grindable, Ken Shadow, but it's 100-day time lock grindable, okay? Meaning that there's time locks on it. You know what I would have loved? You know what I would have loved? One of two things, if not both. Here's what I would have loved. I would have loved you to be able to kill the hostiles and earn a shard. Yes, a new currency that would have allowed you to go into the refinery and no cooldown pull blueprints. All right. And by the way, it might have been an obscene number. 10,000 hostiles. I don't care. You guys proved you would do it. All right? As Bubba Joe said, listen, if Scopely gives you the option, you might not agree with the grinder's price tag, but the fact that it's there, you can't be upset about it. Listen, it might have been kill 100 hostiles to earn a blueprint. 200 blueprints is what, 20,000 hostiles? That's a lot of hostiles, but combine that with the cooldown, so you've got max 100 days, but you can shorten it up. You could shorten it up with excessive grind. Pong says that's only 10 days. Well, listen, some people ground out 60 million rep in a day and a half. Those are the elite players. Those are the players that I want to celebrate. All right? Those are the players that deserve a pat on the back from me and should deserve a pat on the back from Scopely. All right? Now, again, Bubba Joe is 1,000% right, okay? He's right. I'm wrong. And it probably never could have happened for the month of June after they ran the experiment in May. All right? But honestly, the only thing that would have made the Reliant more perfect for me is removing the time gate on the blueprints and letting players grind it out. That is all I wanted this month, is to stick to the unlimited grind model. Let players get out of it whatever they're willing to put into it. And let players like Lost In and K9 Tooth and Jonathan Ingram, let them buy the ship. All right? But let Mord and let Pong and let Shiz, let them grind out the ship. Because they can. And because they want to. And because they're willing to play this game. Right? That's what I want. All right. The second thing I could have gone for, and by the way, thank you, Lost In, you and J-Babes and Trickle and Master Viper have pretty much fully funded a level 3 hype train. There's only 30 seconds left, and I said I wanted to celebrate it, and I'm going to here in just a second. But thank you guys so very much. Sniper says, take my money for that kind of grind. That's the point. That's the point. I want them to offer that kind of... Lost In, you are so sweet. Thank you. I want them to offer that kind of thing. Sniper, and then players might feel justified in spending the money because they're paying to skip the grind. Nothing is paywalled. Nothing is time-walled. It is literally straight-up effort as compared to your spend. That's what I love. That is the only thing that would have made this arc, Part 2, perfect in my eyes, is to let players grind the ship just like we ground Khan. Now, you know what the second option could have been? And this, by the way, would have been less preferred for me if you were going to time gate the ship. Then add some teeny tiny little bit of ship parts to the hostiles so you could grind the upgrades like you could the Franklin. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted them to try to maintain some form of grinders model this month. And while we do kind of see it, it is time gated. All right. But honestly, you ask what I'm most excited for, Tarpy. Really, the Reliant is the feature. That's what's coming. And I would have been over the moon if there had been the unlimited grind model, which would have been very easy to put in. All right. That being said, I have to be patient. They did it in the month of May. I consider it to be a success. Scopely deserves an opportunity to go through that data. Even Bubba Joe, who was not Scopely's biggest fan, said that the fact that they experimented with that model is good, and we need to give them an opportunity to look through the data, and hopefully we will see it again. If we never see it again, then shame on them. But if we do see it again, then this could be possibly turning a page in the book when it comes to getting more to a pay to skip grind kind of model and allowing players to actually get paid content by extreme amounts of grind. And therefore, you don't need to paywall anything. You know what I'm saying? Nothing needs to be paywalled. Everything's available to everybody. And that's a beautiful model to me. So, all of that being said, that is, for the most part, the Reliant. As far as what else is coming, there's a couple of quality of life things, and I'm going to celebrate those here while we're celebrating and wrapping up our hype train, which is already in level 5. Thank you, guys. Yes, pay to strip. Did you hear that? Pay to strip. Here, let me give you a couple of quick little things. Here's your quality of life, which, by the way, I think might backfire just a little bit, but we'll see how it goes. In Wrath of Khan Part 1, a large piece of feedback was that common splicers were not available at the hostels level 62 or higher. Those are being added. There you go. I don't know if that's a good thing, guys. I don't know if that's a good thing. I think your cargo is going to fill up faster than you want it to, but that was feedback, and you guys are getting it. Common splicers will now be included in the G6 hostels. Let's see. Guys, thank you guys for the hype train, too, by the way. That is phenomenal. 450 of you still in. Hey, the D7 hostels are going to be marked with a skull, like the special hostels are for invasions. That way you don't accidentally stumble upon one if you're up there grinding and somebody has been discourteous enough to leave the revenge hostel in the middle. They will now be marked with a skull and crossbones, so you'll know not to necessarily accidentally run into those things, all right? That's happened to me a couple of times too, check, all right? Yeah, that's going to be a thing. Yeah, there you go. Lost in, dropping another 10 gifted. And level 5 is complete. And for those of you, while you are so patiently waiting for G5 scrapping, because it's still not here yet, 11 additional hangar slots will be granted to all players at the conclusion of maintenance this coming month. 11 additional hangar slots for all players, so you can keep on building, keep on building, keep on building. There you go, 11. All right, that's all I've got for you. Those are all the leaks. All right, there you go. What, says Wolfwood? There you go. That's all the leaks you get. All right. Questions. I'll give you 3 minutes for questions in the chat because we got 3 minutes left on a hype train. Actually, I guess I'm going to have to stick around until the end of the hype train. Tarpy, Matters, you guys ask your questions. Here we go. Questions. We're going to bang them out. Let's go. Yes or no questions? Yes or no questions? Here we go. Go, go, go.
Matters, do it.
Matters isn't even on the stage anymore. He's gone.
Okay. Let's see.
What?
Why didn't Frodo just fly the Eagles to Mordor in the first place? Great question.
The Eagles fly Frodo.
Yeah, why didn't that happen?
That's a huge thing. They can't.
Why? They flew him away.
Not their problem. It's not their problem kind of thing.
Oh, got it. Just like it wasn't the tree's problem, right? Wasn't the tree ants problem? But see how that worked out for him.
So,
okay.
Wolfwood, they can't put domination events in the battle pass. Like, that is not coming back because they can't.
Actually, rephrase.
Or
domination events have always been in the battle pass. You're talking about the power gained events in the ticketed events. This month, Wolfwood, domination was replaced by ATA. All right. I don't know if the domination is going to return this month, but last month we saw the replacement of domination by ATA because they ran more ATAs. That's why we ended up with a point shortage. I do expect domination events to return. Wolfwood is specifically talking about the ones for ship XP and officer XP. Okay? Not the power gain ticketed events. Those are still borked. But the ship XP, officer XP ones, those should hopefully return. Unless they stick to, unless they stick to the ATA model this month, which is very entirely possible because Jules and I have both been hinting at you to save your planetary charts and your speed ups. There will be events that call for those this month. All right? And if you're struggling with planetary charts, then you're going to want to be able to knock a few of those out. So you should be slow rolling. You should be slow rolling your planetary chart spend right now. Okay. Other questions?
I have one.
Yes. Matters got a question. Go.
Where are they taking the hobbits?
Where what? Where are they taking
Where are they taking the hobbits?
Where are they going to take the hobbits? Well, after the Eagles picked them up, then they took them back.
No.
They kind of had a party, and then they went back to the Shire.
What's the YouTube video?
To Isengard. That was atrocious, by the way. That was atrocious. That was terrible. For those of you who are curious, I watched all 3 director's cuts this past Saturday of Lord of the Rings. It literally indeed took 12 hours. And I released a YouTube video today. Did you get to watch it, Tarpy? Was it cute?
Yes, I did. Yes, it was cute.
Did you like it? Did you like it? I did it all by myself.
You did good.
I did good. 20 seconds left on the level 6 hype train. We're only 45 subs away from another bonus stream because we are paid in full. Actually, no, that's not true. I think I've got one bonus stream I still owe you. I got one bonus stream that I still owe you. But we're 45 subs away from getting another one. And if we get to a level 10 hype train, then we'll give away $100. All right? We've got 5 seconds on the clock to renew it. Otherwise, we're getting ready to go. Vic says, DJs, do we pull all of our ultras? Yes or no? Yeah, why not? There's not ultra events anymore. Pull them. Pull them. Get you some officer tiers. Whoa! Whoa! Yo! All right, the clock has been reset. For those of you in podcast right now, Lost In just dropped a 50 bomb and got you guys another bonus stream, which is absolutely incredible. Thank you very much, Lost In. Earning another bonus stream. Listen, last week, he said that it was his goal to get me to stream every single day. We almost did it. We might be able to pull that off this week. All right, yeah, because I've got tonight's Monday. We're doing a Tuesday. Now I owe you Wednesday. We've got a Thursday because we got Mr. Tiger. I don't know. Could end up happening. Could end up happening on Friday. And you're up to a level 8 hype train. If we get to level 10, we're giving away a $100 pack right here tonight in the live studio audience. And more importantly, chat, he just bought you another 4 minutes of yes or no questions. All right, continue in the chat. Shiz says, could a Reliant make systems chaser only? Yeah, I think well, I don't know, Shiz. I think you're still going to have spawns of the other hostiles. What I'm worried about are stuck spawns, stuck chasers. That's what I'm a little bit worried about. But I guess because these can't be beamed. Like in Yarda, you can beam them with the junker, but you can't beam them because they can't be beamed. So I don't know. We're going to have to see how that works. Are we getting more Latinum sourcing soon? not through obvious means. Not through obvious means, but you do have a little bit of Latinum sourcing improvement now with the Revenant. All right, if you scrap the Revenant, you could do that a little bit. And these new ATAs. There are some significant Latinum ATAs available in the new section. So you probably got some of those, okay? Is a hot dog a sandwich? Obviously, the correct answer is yes. Can dogs look up? Obviously, also the correct answer is yes. That's how Hazel lives. Did you see her face? Like, she just always looks at me with her head down and her eyes pointing up. She's so cute and adorable.
She was so cute.
She is cute. Did you see? She couldn't make it. She passed out. Did you see her at the end of the 12th hour? She literally yawned out loud. She was so cute.
All right.
When is the next Wandering Warriors event, says Trader? Yeah, that's a good one, Ben Sai. Did you not earn like 15 million lat with Wandering Warriors? I would imagine that won't happen again. That is ops dependent. I imagine that one won't happen again until the next arc. 90 seconds on the clock for us to try to continue pushing. Listen, somebody besides Lost In's going to have to put in some effort here. We're only 8 subs away from level 9. And then if we get to level 10, we're giving away a free Reliant right here, right now to the live studio audience. And there's Sniper giving 10. There you go. And Sniper resetting the clock again. Listen, for those of you in podcast, you're also reaping benefit here, Tarpy, because they're getting extra time on questions. So keep going. Keep going, chat. Cruzito says performance or stability updates. No.
Oh, Shelby.
All right. No.
I have a question, DJ.
Tarpy dropping 5, Shelby dropping 10, Doug dropping 100 kitty bitties. Thank you very much. Matters, what's your question? What's your question?
No, it's Putz. That's all right.
Oh, Putz, what's your question?
So here's the question.
Okay.
True or false?
True or false?
Will there be more event store loot that you can earn by just owning the new ship than a $100 event store loot buy would be?
I cannot answer that accurately. I don't know what the events look like. If you had asked, will there be events that award event store currency because you have the Reliant, then the answer is going to be yes. But I don't know what that quantity would be, Putz. Okay, to be perfectly honest with you, I don't know what that quantity is going to be. I gotta be honest with you, though. To be truthful with you, if you were going to spend $100 on event store loot, then absolutely. You know what? I'm gonna retract. Don't spend. You guys are sons of bitches. You know what? I hate you all.
No, you love us.
I just got hamburgered. I got hamburgered.
You know you love us.
Thanks a lot. You know what, Putz? You shouldn't be trying to trick me into stuff like that. Shame on you, buddy. All right. Now that I have accidentally confirmed that there's an event store, I'm going to come back and answer that question more accurately. If you were going to spend $100, why wouldn't you spend it on the Reliant that is going to earn extra currency, obviously, but then continue to pay out tons and tons and tons of officer shards and the Wrath credits and all this other stuff that is going to be more valuable than maybe the event store currency to begin with? You know what I'm saying? If you're going to spend $100, I feel like, again, this is the time to get in on it, right? The earlier you get in on it, the more value and more benefit it's going to have. Oh, God, is Beck here? Jesus, H. Criminy. All right.
What is wrong with you?
For those of you who are in the live studio audience, we have now hit a level 10 hype train. Karoon, thank you for the resub. Engineer dropping 5 gifted. Rocky Mountain with a gifted sub. Wheels dropping 5. Spock dropping 10, which means we are to level 10. So when we end the podcast, the live studio audience will have an opportunity to win a free Reliant right here and now. And I should remind you, Tarpy, for every level of hype train hereafter is another Reliant. All right, so if we get to level 11, That's another Reliant we give away. If we get to level 12, that's another Reliant we give away. Okay, just saying. All Sizzle says, will the Con Challenger token be coming back? I cannot confirm nor deny the return of Con's Challengers. Okay? Murphy, thank you for the 31-month. Cluster, thank you for the new follow. Welcome into the litter box. Check, thank you for your kitty bitties. And Vanadia dropping 500 kitty bitties. Thank you very much. Tony, what's going on? Hey, listen, for those of you, there's over 100 of you right now in the YouTube audience. You guys, if you want to win a free Reliant, you're going to want to come over and join the Twitch audience just for the game. It doesn't work with YouTube. All right, so we'll give you 5 or 10 minutes. But come on over and hop into the Twitch chat so you have a chance to win. All right? So you have a chance to win this Reliant because it'll only work with the Twitch chat. We've got 90 seconds on the clock. We're only 32 subs away from giving away another pack. Holy smokes! Is that OG Little Hippie? Who just gifted a sub to OG Little Hippie? Was that random? Broken Wolf. Thank you. Broken Wolf dropping a gifted sub to OG Little Hippie. Broken Wolf. All right, Tarpy, I have to tell an unflattering story. Broken Wolf.
You or someone else?
On Broken Wolf. Broken Wolf has basically gone and taken over OG's stream with the ooh-ee-ah-ee-ah-ee-ooh-ee cat. Okay? And she is eating it up. She is eating it up. She plays, listen, when he pops in over there, he plays that cat, and then she plays 20 minutes of TikToks that are just that cat. Broken Wolf, I had to turn it off today. I couldn't keep watching. After like the 4th TikTok of ooh-ee-ah-ee-ooh-ee-ah, I had to turn it off. I couldn't do it. All right, are you guys going to ask more questions? Are you guys going to ask more questions related to the ARC? We've got 30 seconds left. We're 26% through the level 10 hype train. And we'll get ready to wrap up our podcast here with this. Thank you guys very much. Tony says, is Scotty a loot officer? Thank you for asking an ARC-related question. All right, I appreciate you asking an ARC-related question. Unfortunately, I am unable to answer your question audibly because that was not in the ARC release video, nor was it on the blog. So I'm not actually able to answer that question for you until the ARC maintenance drops and the blog post drops. And then you will learn
is your neck okay?
whether or not Scotty is going to be a loot officer. Okay?
Oh, are they updating Anorex at all?
Anorex is not getting an update. Loston just dropped 20. Shelby just dropped 20. What is happening? That means that you just hit level 11. That means we're giving away a second Reliant. Let's go. And those of you in podcast just earned another 4 minutes of questions. Come on now. Come on, guys. Ask the questions. Can we earn a GS31 from the event store? Ooh, that's a great question. I do not know the answer to that. But that would be a great thing to ask. I love that idea. As a matter of fact, I've been trying to advocate for them to open up the Junker packs because people want to buy a second one.
Yeah.
People are wanting to buy a second one. So I'm trying to get them to go with that. Riskbreaker says it's a little early for it to show up in the store. Yeah, well, the event store maybe, and I get that. But people want to buy another Junker. I mean, when you develop a ship that's as in demand as the Junker, you should be selling the crap out of it. All right, I mean, honestly, Scopely, just sell it. Just sell it. People want to throw money at it. It's a great ship. Sell it. Just sell it. Cruzito asks a great question. Are any of the officers captains? Listen, again, the officer information wasn't released. All right, all we can see is what was in the screenshots and in the blog and in the store, which doesn't let us see the actual abilities. Oh, well, there was also the VIP magazine, but we don't get to actually see what the abilities are. So I can't actually answer whether or not either of them are captains. Okay? All right. Will the relativity be in the store? It's a very good question. I also don't know the answer to that. Tarpy, Matters,
yes.
Putz, somebody. Will you guys jot down some of these questions that are coming in? And yes. I'm not, that would be great. for me to be able to come back and ask some of these questions. I know that we are working on. I actually submitted all my questions based on my play test and my pre-arc meetings. I've already submitted all my questions to Tiger for Thursday. But you guys will enjoy the interview. It's going to be great. I'm very excited about it. We'll have good stuff. Archer says, "Are we seeing
basically ships?"
Huh?
Sorry, keep going.
What?
Keep going. You're fine.
Delmeyer says, "So no armadas in augment space? Not this month. Not this month."
What?
He asked if there were going to be armadas in augment space, and I said, "Not this month." I don't know about the future, but they ain't not coming in June. Any special loot coming to the event store? What do you mean by special loot? I don't know what that means. I need old DeVore parts. Will the store have them? They always do. The DeVore parts are in there. You'll be able to buy those. No, Burton, the question, no, I don't mean to be ominous. Not this month means literally not this month, but I do not know if there's future plans for that. What I can tell you is this is a 2-month arc. So I would not expect that, but that's not to say that they won't do something. I mean, I don't know everything that they're always, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Did my fire get covered by insurance? Calamus Dastiny, that is part of why my day was so up and down. And I don't know if it's a good thing or not. So investigators came out. Right now, there is crime scene tape up in my garage, and I'm not allowed to go in there. And they're coming back next week to do more testing. They literally put up crime scene tape, and they, taped it off and put, a serial number on a badge and all this stuff.
What did you do?
I didn't do anything. And they're coming back to do more testing in a week. So, anywho, listen, I didn't lie about nothing. I told them that they knew about the battery. They found the battery. They knew all of that stuff. So,
they are just doing due diligence. They're going to come back and they will take samples. They will run it to make sure what was there.
Yeah.
That it wasn't, arson. That's what they're going to do. Figure out.
Yeah, I guess so. All right, guys, we got 3 seconds on the clock, and that'll do it for our level 11 hype train. Thank you guys so very much. That is going to wrap us up. Mechrack, thank you. Butters, thank you for the follow. Ice Wolf, thank you for the bits. Appreciate you guys being here. Listen, you guys stick around. Bozer says, how can I enter the getaway? You just stick around, all right? We're not going anywhere. I'm going to end the podcast, and I'm going to end the YouTube. If you guys are in YouTube, then I need you to hop over. You got to come over to the Twitch. All right, and you'll have a chance to win a free Reliant as we get ready to wrap up. So we're going to stay on Twitch for a few extra minutes, and we are going to wrap up here on podcast. Thank you guys so very, very much. Appreciate all of you guys. Thank you. Tarpy, there were over 500 people in the live studio audience tonight. I hope that I delivered for you. I hope that you got the leaks, that you got the information, that you got all the fun stuff that you know you can count on right here from Talking Trek. You guys feel good? Hearts in chat if you got the leaks that you guys wanted. Now, you know what? Look at this. I want you to look at your screen right now. Why does that frame still work, Tarpy? That frame still works.
Are you still mad?
Yes, I'm still mad because all the other frames are broken. All right, all the other frames are broken. Howam says, I don't have Twitch. Listen, I bet somebody here could help you create one really, really quick. I bet someone can help you create one really, really quick. And you don't have to do anything. You don't have to be a subscriber. You don't have to be a follower. You don't have to pay nothing. You just got to have that app. Just create one really quick. You've got 5 minutes, and then you can come over and you can win a free $100 pack. How about that? Isn't that going to be exciting? You could do it. Carissa says, I've been busy, missed a lot of the show. Well, good news. It'll be on podcast, and I tried to give all the information as best I could in audio form. So you'll be able to go back and listen to everything, and all the new information will be available in our podcast and on YouTube playback coming up here in just a couple of moments. Let's see. What else do we have? I'm looking for other comments. There you go. Okay, cool. Will I get the ship tomorrow? Chaos, I will be getting the ship. but I will be receiving a grant of the ship. But I will be playing with it a little bit tomorrow. And, of course, we're going to be streaming tomorrow night for Deep Dive, more data, all the charts. Jules Verne will be here. Jules Verne will be here. And he will be teaching you everything that we know. And, again, a super huge shout-out to Doman and Mr. Tiger for granting us literally all of the data. We have everything. Tomorrow night, we will be sharing all of it with you here on stream. And I would imagine that Jules will probably be sharing a lot of that stuff earlier in the day, throughout the day, through his charts and all of that stuff. So that will be happening, and all the good stuff from all of our data collection. And again, super big shouts to Mr. Tiger and Doman for helping us out with that, okay? We'll have all the stuff to give to you. How good. He said had to jump over from YouTube, and he's here. He made it. Good for you, buddy. See, you didn't even need 5 minutes. You didn't even need 5 minutes. How you guys doing? All right, guys, thank you so very much. My name is UltimatDJz, appreciating you, loving you, and thanking you for being a part of our live studio audience here at Talking Trek. A registered trademark and recorded in front of a live studio audience for distribution across podcast platforms everywhere. I'm your friendly neighborhood cat person saying meow for now. Love you, minute. Catch you on the next one. Good night, everybody.